Only a few moments away from the start of this match, 11th against 7th. Brisbane and Collingwood here at the Gabba, and a massive crowd is building up for what is expected to be a pretty fiery clash if recent years are anything to go by. The one man that always calls the action as he sees it is John Casey. He's with us again tonight. Looking forward to a beauty tonight, Case.
Yes, thanks, Jay. Should be a great match between these two teams. Good evening, everyone. Both these sides coming off their heaviest defeat of the season last Saturday. The Lions losing by 64 to Essendon at the Telstra Dome. And then on Sunday, Collingwood gave up a 17-point half-time lead to go under to the Western Bulldogs. So both teams with plenty to prove here. And Leon Davis, well, he'll be up for a big match as well. Kicked 2 goals against Brisbane round 10 last year and has kicked a goal at least once against Brisbane in his last 4 matches. And the exciting young player, Scott Pendlebury, expect big things from him tonight. He's kicked goals in 7 of the 8 matches this season for Collingwood and made his debut in round 10 last season against Brisbane. So looking forward to a big match from Scott Pendlebury. And for the Brisbane Lions, well, Daniel Merritt, who played only 9 games last year, is the only Brisbane Lions player who has played 100% of every game so far this season. He leads the league in spoils. He's going to have a big job tonight. We're doing a great job after a limited preparation last season. But to tell us more about this match, let's get down to the 300 gamer from the Western Bulldogs and Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, I tell you what, Collingwood Footy Club could play on Mars and they'd still get a good crowd. I tell you, they've come out in droves tonight. It's going to be a great crowd. They're looking forward to a great game. So conditions down here are perfect. Not a bit of dew on the grass, not a breath of wind, so it's perfect conditions for a great game.
200 gamer, Simon Black, tossed the coin here with Brodie Holland. And we've spoken about Collingwood's lack of victory here.
About the umpire saying well done on your milestone to Simon Black. It didn't say squat to poor old Brodie Holland, who's playing game number 150. On you, Brodie.
So the Lions will kick to left of screen. Simon Black winning the toss here. And Lee Matthews, well, coach at Collingwood more than 200 games. But since leaving the Magpies, he's won 11 out of 14 against them with Brisbane. So he's enjoyed beating up on his former team. But a big match for the Lions, disappointing, coming off successive losses and trying to right the ship. In 11th position at the moment. They're 1 game better off than they were last season at this stage when they were 3-5, but they would not like to drop another one here at home.
No, they wouldn't, and momentum is fairly and squarely against them. I mean, they haven't won a quarter of football for 2 weeks, and sometimes that's a hard thing to turn around. Once you start to become conscious of it and things aren't going your way, it can be a very difficult thing to stop.
They looked at the selection table to add to their potency up forward by adding Chris Johnson and Mitch Clark into the side. Unfortunately, Chris Johnson's out with that plantar fascia strain in his right foot, so that's disappointing. But have a look at Mitch Clark. Been very good in the 2 games he's played in the local competition. Was 6 goals, 6 last week, and moves very well for a 6'7" forward. He'll be an interesting and very important one for tonight's fixture for the Brisbane Lions.
Interesting just looking at some of the stats. Collingwood in recent weeks have had more short kicks than their opponents. In fact, the most in terms of margin to their respective opponents in the competition. Yet they're number 16 in handball, so they're preferring to use the ball by foot as opposed to by hand. And Brisbane Lions, number 1 in clearances here at the Gabba. Wouldn't they love to back that up tonight and get first use of the footy going forward?
And look at this big man who we touched on earlier on.
Presti's got him.
Presty will go there and he'll be like a blanket. He'll just hang on to him all day, and it'll be a great contest, as will this one. Anthony Rucker on Daniel Merritt.
Interesting, Copeland is playing forward in a stopping role on Heath Shaw.
Underway from the Gabba, round 9, and Leon Davis gets the first kick of the match to drive Collingwood up to the half-forward line. Rocket comes out, tapped on by Didak. Opportunity here for the Magpies as Lockyer goes around the corner.
Great tackle.
Great tackle from Brisbane in the defensive 50. Simon Black's relieving kick wasn't a good one though. Dane Swan cuts it out. Now Cloak around the body. Ball spills free. O'Brien, former Brisbane player, got it onto the boot quickly. Didak working hard. Brisbane with numbers as they escort it over the boundary line.
That certainly is a compliment to Heath Shaw and the way he's been playing this year. Robbie Copeland will stick very close and try to cut down the drive of Heath Shaw and his fellow half-backs tonight.
Richards with the tap. Again, Brisbane with the numbers. Sharman, look away handball to Hadley. Now they look to run it out of their defensive 50. Trying to find an option. Sharman the target. Cutting across, doing a good job there, Guy Richards. Onto the boot quickly, Heath Shaw, but it's all Brisbane.
Interesting that Justin Sherman's the man with the job on Alan Didak.
Luke Power to Lappin. Brown leads to the wing. Lappin ignores that. Needs to go longer now. Good solid mark. Grabbed there by Ash McGrath. Looking to go short. And a nice mark has been taken here by Mitch Clark.
It's always good your first game in to get your hand on the ball. He moves very well, Mitch Clark, and he's quite a good shot on goal. The distance from 45 metres won't be a problem, but that's just the confidence builder he needs.
6 goals last week in the reserves. The teenager from East Fremantle played only 6 games last season and then had a problem with osteitis pubis. Top 10 draft pick in 2005, off the side of the boot, not going to be a goal. That doesn't make the distance. Magpies spoiler Ash McGrath leads the charge after the loose ball though. Elusive in the pocket, takes a bounce, goes with a banana, and he's kicked it. What a start for the Brisbane Lions.
What a great start. That is a very good start. Mitch Clark had a shot on goal. It was a nervous poke at his first kick. But with the Indigenous round, it's great to see one of the very talented Indigenous boys for the Brisbane Lions. On the run, check side, great goal.
Oh, it was a fantastic finish. What we did miss, though, was the little jink and sidestep that he put on Ben Johnson. It was an absolute ripper. Just left him standing cold.
One of the best small forwards in the AFL this season, Ash McGrath, has now kicked a goal in all 9 games. Doing a great job. Kicked 3 against Collingwood, Roundhead last year. A free kick against Guy Richards. And the Lions will go into attack again. Jamie Charman sends them deep. Running onto the ball, Simon Black. Shut down by 2 opponents. And they relieve the pressure now through Ben Johnson. Lockyer to the wing. Didak has to reach high and did a good job to reel in the mark.
Now the Collingwood forward line have tried to stretch the defence of the Lions. Cloak's got Mills marks there, and up forward there is Drummond picking up Josh Fraser.
Pack develops, a lot of pushing going on. Brisbane player goes down, and the free kick has been awarded here to Josh Drummond. Plays on quickly by hand to Lappin, who works the ball to the wing, but coming back, taking very brave mark there, Travis Cloak. Slows it down. Youngest of the 3 brothers. Now goes short, but went to a contest. Medhurst had 2 to beat. And over the back of the pack, the ball.
Just have a look here. Cloak going back. Very courageous. And hit very hard. Deserve the free kick.
Pendlebury after the ball for Collingwood. Gets it off quickly. Now they look for Josh Fraser. Centre half forward. Can't bring it down. Reece Shaw there in support between them. They've manufactured the ball forward. Didak on a lead. Ball bounces in front of him. And now Sherman relieves him of it.
Good spot.
Kick around the body. Bounce didn't do Tim Notting any favours, but he's away nonetheless. And up looking for Clark again. Couldn't hold on. Was very aware of the contest coming there from Nick Maxwell. Tries to keep it alive, but it's over the boundary line.
The one thing we have seen from Mitchell Clark, and I know we watched him a couple of weeks ago, Lynchy, in the match that was on as the curtain raiser. He's got a big leap. We saw him just try and use it there early. Nick Maxwell is going to have to make sure he gets a little bit of body on him, or he might find an opponent jumping on his head.
A little over 5 minutes played, term number 1. Brisbane with the only goal of the match so far as Reece Shaw shows his quicks after reading the tap out. Lappin supplies the tackle. Lockyer can't keep it alive. Stalemate, and we have another boundary throw-in.
They do give you an inordinate amount of time to actually get rid of the footy now. And you just feel that sometimes a good tackle isn't being rewarded. Nigel Lappin there put a great tackle on Scott Pendlebury, and the ball spilled free. No free kick, should have been.
That was against Jamie Charman, just looking at his opponent instead of the ball.
O'Brien goes forward. Pack develops. Rocker couldn't bring it in, and the ball over the boundary line as we go down to Rowan Smith.
couple of midfield matchups at the moment, which is a bit interesting. Luke Power is playing on Shane O'Brien, and Simon Black's playing on Leon Davis, who's giving him a 40-foot leg rope at the moment.
Shallow throw in. Sharman has to work hard. His Power taken high by Leon Davis. Another free kick for the Brisbane Lions. Power centering the ball, looking for Sherman, overcooked it. Reece Shaw steps across, grabs the loose ball. Looks into the pocket. Leon Davis is there, so too Shane O'Brien.
Poor kick.
They were queuing up in the corner. I mean, Leon Davis was there if O'Brien didn't get the ball, so just a little bit of napping in terms of Brisbane's defence.
Just a major problem. I think some of the Brisbane defenders have started to run forward, but the turnover at centre-half back really turned everyone around, and the free players popped up everywhere.
Well, O'Brien's only kicked one goal, and that was back in round 2. That's not coming around enough. It's a minor score, but it's the first for Collingwood.
On behind player Charman and Guy Richards, and I've got a feeling I know who I'd back in that one.
You can be
angry
sure.
Man, Jamie
He's
Charman.
very angry. That's why his opponents will go to him and challenge him, try to suck him in.
Patient bringing the ball out. Cheney still a hands off. Nice kick. Power going to be run down by Leon Davis. Up to the half forward line. Excellent use of the body there by Joel Patfull. Gets a running shot on goal. Coming back, but not enough. He's hit the post.
Free kick here.
So no score. Free kick awarded to Collingwood.
Gee, it was clever use of the body by Patfull. You called it, Lynch. He just worked his opponent early under the ball and trapped it beautifully. Lockyer
with little to kick to. He's trying to find O'Brien. In the end, Collingwood will be happy with that. Brisbane had numbers as Notting takes it over the boundary line.
He's been good, Patfull. I mean, all year. Probably at the start of this year wasn't expected to play a lot of football, but obviously Daniel Bradshaw went down, and he's played a valuable role up forward for the Lions.
And a stalemate between Charman and Guy Richards. Throwing it onto the boot now. Cheney Stiller. Jonathan Brown for his first touch. And it's a good one as he hands off to Luke Power, who runs into an open goal. And the Lions lead it handsomely.
Well, they're getting the perfect start. And again, we said they were number 1 for clearances here at the Gabba. And this all came from a clearance. And it was Cheney Stiller that got the clearance. But great work from Jonathan Brown to turn around Simon Cresta-Giacomo while still controlling the ball. Shoot the hand pass off to Luke Power, who you could see there just kept running from the clearance. So he took off once he saw the ball going forward and got on the end of it.
Fifth goal of the season for Luke Power. Malthouse and the Collingwood coaching staff with plenty on their plate at the moment. The Lions lead it by 2 goals. So we get back underway. A little over 9 minutes played here, term number 1. Need to get the ball out. Going to be called for holding the ball. Richard Hadley.
Just starting to find some good fitness too. Richard Hadley had his season high this year after 2 years on the sidelines.
Reece Shaw goes dangerously.
That's silly, Tim Notting. He's just cleaned up Reece Shaw, knocked him off balance after you got rid of the ball, and you give them a very easy shot for goal virtually right in front. You've got momentum. The last thing you want to do is make it easy for the opposition to get back in the contest. It's one thing to be aggressive, but you've got to be smart about it.
Got to be smart. And you've got a contest up there, Fraser on Drummond, where he's given away an enormous amount of height. You want that contest to be a break even. This really hurts.
Josh Fraser kicked 2 goals for Collingwood against Brisbane last season and gets his first here tonight. Collingwood's first of the match.
It's an interesting matchup, Lynchy. We spoke about Jared Brennan being dropped. Jason Rowe has started on the bench, and you would think that Rowe would be a more even matchup for Josh Fraser. You just see there that Drummond lost balance in the body-on-body very early on. They're obviously going to see if it works for them, see if Drummond can use his run and rebound when Fraser pushes forward. But, gee, it's a dangerous one in the air, isn't it?
Certainly is. Need Drummond to get plenty of possession.
Josh Fraser's been good for Collingwood. 2 goals last week against the Western Bulldogs, 2 goals the week before against Carlton, and gets them underway here. Almost 11 minutes played, term number 1 from the Gabba. Hadley working hard again, not going anywhere against Alan Tuvey.
And the ruck divisions have been rotated. Bo McDonald's coming onto the ground. Josh Fraser into the ruck with Richards off. And Dale Thomas come off the pine for the Collingwood team and has gone to full forward.
Over the top, Bo McDonald, not with any great authority though. Opportunity here for Black. Shovels out a handball. Sherman goes by hand as well to Tim Notting. Looks for the lead. Jonathan Brown couldn't take the mark. Keeps it alive though with support there from Mitchell Clark, who throws it onto the boot, bringing it back, but not far enough. It's a minor score.
And we saw there with that left-footed pass, it wasn't too bad from Tim Notting, just Jonathan Brown, as he has done his whole career, just trying to take it on the chest instead of getting the hands out in front of his face.
Good signs for Brisbane with Mitchell Clark getting his hands on the ball early, but it'll be even better for his confidence when he gets one between the big sticks.
Burns told to play on, not 15. Brodie Holland involved. Now Harry O'Brien, the boy from Rio, runs through the centre of the Gabba to the half-forward line. Intelligent use of the body there from Pendlebury, but he's shut down by Lappin. Rocker gets the ball to boot. Brisbane with numbers though. Simon Black with a relieving kick and brings it out to the half-back line where he's found Troy Selwood.
Scott Pendlebury in a little bit of trouble behind play too after that second tackle from Nigel Lappin. He's limping, must have got a cork in that tackle.
35 possessions, a career high last week for Selwood in his comeback match. Goes to Daniel Merritt. Lopes his way through the defensive 50, pushes it out wide, has set his teammate a task here, Jed Adcock. Did a good job there in a confined space to keep it alive to Mills. Game Merritt playing around with on the half-back line dangerously. They look for Patfull, didn't do him any favours though, and Harry O'Brien takes a strong mark.
He's hurt himself too. Robert Copeland coming in to make contact. A little bit worried about Daniel Merritt's decision-making when he gets the ball coming out of defence.
Exactly, he's leading the competition in defensive spoils. He should stick to that and just hand the ball off by hand, I think.
Then Johnson to Burns, tucked in on the boundary line, set sail for home, looks good, and Collingwood tires away.
Once again, the turnover out of defence for the Brisbane Lions. You touched on Daniel Merritt. He's been a very good defender and he's resurrected his career and just looks like he's going to be one of the best defensive players in the competition at the moment. But the turnover started with Harry O'Brien, good use of the body, put Patfull under the ball, and then with courage got hit from Robbie Copeland, bounced up, and a very good goal from Burns from a very sharp angle.
Well, Scott Burns, two-time State of Origin player, oldest man on the ground tonight at 32, gives Collingwood a much-needed goal. As the Woods try and scurry it out of the centre, the Brisbane grab possession here. Simon Black quickly works it up to Rischitelli, started on the bench, runs around Harry O'Brien from 60. Just puts it into the hot spot. Jonathan Brown comes out. Couldn't mark it. Power taken to ground. Play on the call. Joel Patfull does that. Excellent work from Heath Shaw. Exciting stuff coming out of the back line from Collingwood, and now Josh Fraser. Going to be run down but gets it onto the boot quickly. Medhurst at the back has the run of the ball. Reels it in. Works around the corner now looking for a teammate. Dane Swan. Was he infringed? No. Play on is the call from the umpire. Heavy work going in from Adcock and Lappin. Dale Thomas, the no-look handball to O'Brien, sold him into trouble. Now Travis Clegg put a trickles over the boundary line.
Good contest. Have a look back to Jonathan Brown. Presti just was focused on his opponent rather than the ball and just spilt the ball out.
He'd normally swallow that Jonathan Brown, and agonisingly short for Dane Swan, that one.
Quick kick off the boot coming there from Dane Swan, but it's a minor score after he sharked the tap from Bo McDonald, and Collingwood have taken the lead for the first time.
Well, when the ball gets at either end, both forward lines look likely to score at the moment, which is an encouraging sign from a match spectacle, but not so much from a defensive point of view in both coaches' boxes.
And look at the defensive zone, or it's basically a soft zone or man-on-man the Collingwood have employed.
Adcock in a hurry, got rid of it. Now Ben Johnson works it around the corner and finds Medhurst, wants to play on. Has been accurate so far this season, and he's got the job done again.
Well, I reckon Lee Matthews would be furious in the coach's box right now because Brisbane got the start they wanted. Unfortunately, all that good work's been undone. Every Collingwood goal has come from a mistake. Here's the kick out. Well, it's okay to kick to a 1-on-1, but it was actually a 2-on-3 or a 2-on-4 because there was only one Brisbane player at ground level. There were 2 or 3, one of them being Ben Johnson, who chips it over to the loose player in Medhurst because there's always loose players when you turn the ball over after kicking out from a behind.
Well, Paul Medhurst, a welcome return for Collingwood. Hit 6 goals in the first 3 games of the season. Twice led Fremantle's goal-kicking list. And this year has been very accurate.
He's just had his hands on the ball a couple of times. Looks dangerous already at this early stage of the game, Paul Medhurst.
Sharman into the ruck trying to generate some action. Simon Black will get a free kick here. Played on and played into traffic. Riscatelli couldn't handle it. All farmed out there by Copeland. Now they look for Jonathan Brown again, and this time he's taken the mark.
Well, he was a good 6 or 8 metres clear of Simon Prestigiacomo. He's not that much quicker in a foot race, so you've got to think that he did some early body work, pushed him off, and then got the clear lead to the footy.
How does that happen, Jace? You were the best at that. I've been playing on you many times. The big shove, and away you go.
He reads the game pretty well, this bloke.
Important kick.
Kick 4 against Collingwood, round 10 last year. It was his last match of the season before the hip injury threw it into disarray, and he's not going to be happy with that. It's a minor score.
He's not going to be happy as the ball's brought back for another kick out. He's just pulling these kicks, and he's done it for 4 or 5 weeks now.
He's had problems all year.
Basically started, I think it was Kangaroos at Carrara.
Round 4, yep.
And he just needs to get that one first through. Important his next shot, make sure he converts.
Lappin tucked in on the boundary line. Tries to work it to the advantage of Chaney. Still unable to do so as we go down to Rowan Smith.
At the start of the game, Collingwood noticed that they were getting beaten at stoppages. Scott Burns and Brodie Holland started on the bench, both on the ground, adding a bit of grunt in the stoppages now.
Sharman with his hand to it again. Riscatelli quickly to Simon Black. Works inside the 50. Unloads with the left foot. And he's hit the post as well. Collingwood restart quickly.
They're away here.
Got the open man. Plenty of time to run onto it. Picks up the ball now. Does Alan Tuvey. Looks to go short. Finding Medhurst out on the lead.
He's moving well, Medhurst.
He's gone short as well. In fact, overcooked it, looking for Didak. Dale Thomas tucked in on the boundary line. Now he's over.
I think.
Told to play on. Brisbane looking to scramble it out of their defensive 50, but only as far as Medhurst. He goes short, but Wayward with it. Notting with an opportunity. Now they work it to Sherman. Simon Black.
Had no options.
Possession number 9 for him. Game high as Jonathan Brown a long way from the forward line trying to ease the situation for the Lions. He's short. Under a good tackle there from Copeland and the ball across the line.
Let's have a look at Dale Thomas doing that little blind turn in the corner. Gee, if that's not out, I'm not here.
Well, the boundary umpire was actually in front of us, and that's a long way. That's about 100 metres from where that ball crossed the line. But take it if you can.
Tarkin Lockyer, third man up in the rucking duel, taken high there.
That's his head.
Was Selwood. Can't get a free kick though.
And rubbing his face into the dirt. Beautiful, Scotty Burns. Didn't do anything too wrong there. Just made sure Selwood knew about it.
Fraser gets the tap. Here's Tim Notting. Again, Fraser butters up. Johnson couldn't handle it. Free kick though is going in his direction. Rocker being held off the ball. Now has found some space. Daniel Merritt goes with him. Good body work again from Daniel Merritt. Been a rock in the defensive 50 for Brisbane this season.
A big lump of a lad. You could see Anthony Rocker tried to put the big bump on him, but it didn't stop the momentum of Merritt, who came through with the spoil. Well done. 104
kilos. Merritt. Rocker, 108, the heaviest man out there. As Power gets boots the ball quickly. Here's Brodie Holland. Trying to work it to Prestigiacomo. Riscatelli.
Now that's got to be thrown, surely.
Has won a free kick. He leads the Lions in tackles, Riscatelli, and now we see why. And that's an excellent pass. McGrath has Brown. Mitchell Clark available also in the centre.
That's a good grab under enormous pressure. Robbie Copeland tried to put the block on for Shaney Stiller. Heath Shaw did get through the block, but Shane Stiller's hands were strong enough to hang on to that one.
They've had their share of the play, Brisbane. They've got to convert. This is a very important kick from that perspective because they really don't deserve to be trailing.
Stiller
Pulled that.
comes in, not going to make the distance. It's knocked over the line. Another minus score for Brisbane.
And Stiller was under the injury cloud from last week with a rolled ankle. He's done well to come up for tonight's game.
6 scoring shots to 5, but Brisbane trail by 4 points.
See, Simon Black started game number 200 OK. He's already chalked up 9 possessions.
He goes all right.
Nick Maxwell goes to Brodie Holland. Look at the Brisbane players here. Outnumbered Harry O'Brien. O'Brien works it over the top. Opportunity for Tuvey. Takes them on. An exciting young player. Bangs it to the goal square. Burns.
That's a good grab and a free kick.
It's too strong.
That was too strong. The body pressure for Benny Fixter. Just got his strong body in front. Threw the arm back. Drew the free kick, but quite rightly deserves the mark. Not a big goal kicker, but this will hurt. As you touched on, Jace, probably the Brisbane Lions don't deserve to be 2 goals back. This will sting.
Burns already has one to his credit. Comes in, makes no mistake. Collingwood have kicked 4 goals here in 12 minutes.
He's doing a great job, Scotty Burns. Started on the bench and he's now heading back there, but he's got a couple of goals to his name. He's done a sensational job.
And I was probably a bit harsh saying not a big goal kicker. I mean, he's kicked 137 in his career now, so out of 230 games, that is quite dangerous midfielder that can go forward.
Good start to the match for Scott Burns. First game this season where he's kicked multiple goals, and he's done it in the first term. 10-point lead for Collingwood after Brisbane led by 11 points after 8 minutes of play. Guy Richards, the late inclusion, goes up and taps it to Charman. Takes them on. O'Brien quickly onto the boot. Collingwood scramble it forward once more. Here's Cloak, manhandled. Worried out of it. Nodding. They bring the ball to the wing where they've got space to move in here. An opportunity for Riscatelli. 2 bounces. Looking to draw a play. Going to be run down from behind. Poor handball. Set up his teammate O'Brien there with support. Now Lockyer around the body. Bounce eludes Cloak. An opportunity for Tim Notting, getting good support from Hadley. Goes short. Sets Stiller a task. He can't reel it in. Bowls over Reece Shaw. Goes down himself. Scooped up by Rowe to Power. Quickly onto the boot. Jonathan Brown comes out and has won a free kick.
Presty just had hold of what appeared to be Jonathan Brown's left arm as he was pushing for the ball. But once again, the forward 50 thrust for the Lions been put under pressure with potential turnovers. Tim Notting on the wing. But in the end here, we see Jonathan Brown hold the front position.
It's all over him, isn't it?
He was molested.
And that is, look, that's reward for fighting to hold that front position. You're making the play. You're entitled to be able to attack the footy when you've got one arm held behind your back and another over the shoulder. You've got to get the free kick. Now, this isn't a totally dissimilar position to where he missed the last one. He needs to make sure of this. Kick right through it.
He's training this week because of a virus. This to make him feel a whole lot better. Didn't look good off the boot, but he's got the job done.
Wasn't probably great off the boot and did pull it left, but it is that little acknowledgement on the scoreboard. You've got a goal under your belt, and that will help his confidence. So will make certainly the next one a lot better. Jonathan Brown, such a strong, imposing forward. He draws the ball, and he obviously deserved a free kick there. But Brisbane Lions and Collingwood both have been flat out in this first quarter, and this will go right to the wire.
Tremendous contest going. 4-point ball game. Collingwood with the advantage. A little over 25 minutes played here in term number 1 as Charman and Guy Richards go at it again. Good hands from Power. Got it to Hadley. Now an opportunity for Collingwood. Power with a good tackle though. Prevented them from going anywhere. Charman farms it out once more. But Collingwood knock it forward to their half-forward line. Thomas leads the charge. Kept his feet. Did a good job. Now with an opportunity. Again, keeping it alive with sublime skills. Looks for Leon Davis. Overdid it with the pass. And the Brisbane Lions will look to clear here through Drummond. Notting. Now they come to the centre of the ground. Ash McGrath.
Plenty of space up forward for Mitchell Clark to lead into.
Out he comes. Shadowed on that occasion by Nick Maxwell, who bumps him off the ball. He's sure in support. Coming across Copeland, but can't prevent Collingwood from working it to the wing. Pendlebury has a man on a lead, and it's Didak who's taken a strong mark. Just outside the 50. Rocker wants it long to the goal square. One out with Merritt. Didak obliges. Josh Fraser loses. Merritt's got hold of it. Wants to take them on. He was ambitious, and he's going to be caught holding the ball.
Well, we spoke about it earlier, Lynchy. That's another decision-making error. You just can't expect to have that much time when you actually win possession in a pack down back. Don't worry about the fact that he ran into a bloke in front of him. He was about to be tackled from behind as well. You just haven't got that much time. He's either got to throw it on the boot, kick it out wide, or turn around and hand pass it through for a point.
Just hasn't played at the level in that position long enough.
And Scott Pendlebury will come in and get the job done for Collingwood. Their 5th goal here in the first term.
That was obviously a free kick. Daniel Merritt got caught with the ball. He's developing into a very good player, but just the decision-making process here, he tries to take players on, and just certainly in the congestion that was around there.
He was ambitious.
It was very ambitious.
That position.
So he's still developing. He'll be right, and he'll learn from that mistake.
Lee Matthews doesn't look overly pleased.
Lee Matthews with plenty on his plate at the moment. Collingwood have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals here.
Fraser playing out of the goal square, and Jason Rowe has come off the bench to pick him up.
Bo McDonald doing the ruck work against Richards, who's held his own so far. Well, yet to emerge from the centre circle.
Get out, boys!
Not much going on there. We'll get down to Rowan Smith.
Yeah, just Robbie Copeland's played a defensive role on Heath Shaw tonight. It's taken him right out of the game. And Nigel Lappin is playing down back, giving Brisbane a little bit of run tonight as well.
Richards with the tap, looking for Burns. Shark by Black. Now it's Luke Power. Going by hand over the top. Read the situation brilliantly to Simon Black. Goes short. Coming out. Couldn't handle the mark. Now the loose ball. A good tackle. Nice second effort there from Robert Copeland. Notting. Blinks it toward the goal square. Brown and Prestigiacomo wrestling. Best of 3 falls. Brown scoops it up. Hands over to Ash McGrath, who snaps one over the shoulder.
We just saw Mick Malthouse on the bench there, and he's absolutely filthy. It was a good contest. Presti and Jonathan Brown. Good wrestle, both holding each other, no free kicks given away there. But the strength of Jonathan Brown, that even though he's gone to ground, he put his head over the ball and look up. And Ash McGrath, as every good small crumbing forward should be, just in front of the big fella. And another goal set up by Jonathan Brown.
He's in a mood, Jonathan Brown. You just get the feeling that if Collingwood don't get someone to peel off and come over the top, he's going to trouble whoever's on him, certainly matching Presti with strength and just throwing him out of the way on that occasion and getting it out to McGrath.
McDonald with the tap, didn't do enough with it. Burns gets Collingwood to their half-forward line. Cloak comes out. Taken high. Free kick against Justin Sherman. Cloak goes quickly to the goal square. Out comes Rowe and takes a strong mark.
That was well done by Jason Rowe. But Anthony Rocker, he wants to get on the lead a little bit. He's just content at the moment to sit under the long ball and wrestle with Daniel Merritt. And he's a very strong man. He's better off getting on the short leads.
Jed Adcock advised to play on. Brings it to the wing. Now comes McDonald. Couldn't bring down the mark. Hadley working hard, got into the back of his opponent there. Free kick being awarded to Johnson. Plays on quickly. Again, they go long to the goal square. Brisbane with numbers back in best position. Sherman runs through traffic. Goes to Luke Power. Medhurst goes down behind play. Took one to the chops as Notting goes to power. Quickly they move it to Jed Adcock. Not a lot on offer. He has to retreat to Daniel Merritt. Final 30 seconds of the first term. Wade Mills a little undecided. Looks for McDonald.
Two big ruckmen at it.
Guy Richards works it toward the boundary line and he'll be happy with that.
And I think Anthony Rocket did lead that last time. He's off the ground, isn't he, Jace?
Just having a spell. Merritt's gone on to Josh Fraser. Better not be too harsh on the big fella.
No, that's right. It's down on the long ball when he's sitting on the pine.
Only about 15 seconds left in the quarter. The last thing the Lions can afford to do now is concede a late goal.
Burns works them to the 50.
Oh, big shove.
Free kick going to the Brisbane Lions.
Wade Mills kick. Wade Mills. Play on.
Well, that is all for term number one. An entertaining affair where the Brisbane Lions had more scoring shots than Collingwood, but it's the Magpies who lead it by 4
it's
here
on.
at the first break. And Sharman has had his angry pills before this one in a wrestle here with Harry O'Brien and Rocker.
Go out, Ben, Ben out. Let's all stay on that,
Oh, he looks like a powder keg waiting to explode, Jamie Charman.
The fuse has just been lit.
Oh, Anthony Rocket needs to let go because he was about to cock one. Big angry man. Now Jonathan Brown's in the middle of it. He's got a handful of a couple of players.
And he wants
it's
another.
escalating. It's escalating.
Merritt's coming in too.
Guys,
There's a bit happening here.
Trainer.
Stay out there, like you're right.
Stay out a bit.
Someone wants to grab Jonathan Brown and walk away.
Stay out. To your huddles, boys.
Unusually, it's Shane O'Brien. Old mates from the Brisbane Lions days.
Not too much in that.
You just see, you wouldn't have thought Jamie Charman runs a beautician's shop or whatever, a day spa.
Well, this opening quarter has had everything, and Collingwood leaded by 4. We'll have more for you here on Saturday Night Football right after this.
They must have different stats. Case, we had 20, they had 18. Maybe a couple just got a metre or so inside the attacking figure before they came out and they didn't count them. Anthony Rocker, we saw him at the middle of that little scuffle at quarter time. I hope he and Charman don't run for a 50-50 ball later on. Could be an explosion.
Well, he's only had one kick. He's frustrated at the moment as we get underway. Term number 2. Here's Charman throwing it onto the boot, driving Brisbane forward once more.
Oh,
What a
good
mark.
grab.
Excellent defensive work by Heath Shaw.
They did a great job in the first quarter. We heard Rowan Smith talking about the defensive forward role that Copeland's playing. Kept Heath Shaw to just 2 kicks and 4 possessions in the first quarter.
This is Goldsack, the rookie. Byron Collingwood to the centre wing. Charman leads the race at the moment, looking for the support of Sherman. Taps it forward into traffic. Now appeared to be free kicks. Taken too high. Sherman will get the free kick.
And had last week in the 2s. They just wanted to get him back there and get a bit of confidence up. Didn't have an overly impressive game last week, but has come back in and has been fairly handy in the first quarter.
This Patful, looking further afield, comes off the side of the boot, eludes McGrath and over the boundary line in the forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions.
And Reece Shaw's got the job on Ash McGrath. He's going to have to be very tight on Ash McGrath, who crumbs well but also leads hard at the ball and can take a mark.
And what a season he has had. 6 of the 9 games he's kicked multiple goals, Ash McGrath. Close to the best small forward in the AFL at the moment. Copeland couldn't get free. Now Collingwood will work it out through Nick Maxwell. Looking for the lead and finding it from Travis Cloak. Wants to play on quickly, not a lot to go to though. And in the end has just poked it towards centre half forward. Lappin should have done better. Scooped up the loose ball. Pendlebury takes them on, running in and kicks Collingwood's 6th goal of the game.
Well, that's the ultimate punishment, isn't it? When you make a mistake, it's your direct opponent that kicks the goal. He's playing on Pendlebury. Pendlebury's now got 2 goals to his name, and he looked like he had it covered as the ball came in. Nigel Lappin just took his eye off it at the last moment. A very costly error, and they've made enough errors. You don't need senior players, experienced players doing them when you just don't expect it.
Just struggling across half back the lines just with those mistakes.
Well, Pendlebury kicked 2 goals against Richmond in round 3 and 2 against Port Adelaide in round 4. He's got 2 quick ones here for Collingwood, who take a 10-point lead. 2.5 minutes played, term number 2 from the Gabba. As Richards climbs high once more. Sharman, handball out somehow, worked it to the advantage of Drummond, who goes even wider looking for Tim Notting. Ignores the lead from McGrath, works
Brown
back onto the right foot to the goal square. Brown against Prestigiacomo, got a fist to it. McGrath keeps it alive, carried over the line.
That's a big wrestle. There's plenty of power in that contest. There's about 210 kilos just pushing hard at each other.
Charman and Richards go at it again. Jonathan Brown tried to grab it. Loose ball scooped up here by Copeland over the shoulder. Didn't get enough distance on it. Mark has been taken by Dane Swan. Leads Collingwood in disposals at 25 per game, Dane Swan. Relieves the pressure. Notting almost took the mark though. Now he's been harassed out of it by Tuvey. A likely customer. Goes for the bounce. Now he's going to be pinged for incorrect disposal.
Again, did everything right, Tuvey, but just expected to have a little bit too much time. You know you're not going to get that. He'd done well. He'd won the contest. Just needed to look for a target.
Cheney Stiller looking for the lead of Brown, but Prestigiacomo took front spot from him. Handball's out now to Tarkin Lockyer. Reece Shaw. Low flat kick cut out again by Stiller. Told to play on. Gets the ball to the 50 where Jonathan Brown has 2 to beat and has given away a free kick to Reece Shaw.
It started with a similar setup to the first quarter, Collingwood. A couple of experienced players, Brodie Holland and Scott Burns, starting on the bench.
Lockyer to the support of Maxwell, who drives Collingwood long. Luke Power harassing Medhurst. Well, Pendlebury it was. Here's Didak coming in. Somehow kept it alive against Sherman. Centres the ball looking for Rocker, not going to get far enough. Leon Davis kept it alive. Now Medhurst is with it to O'Brien. Indiscriminate with the kick, but Leon Davis looms at the back and did a good job there against a much taller opponent in Daniel Merritt.
That's a good effort. He used his body well. Often that back position is the strength. If you can hold your player under the ball, the drop zone was behind, and he just did enough to hold Daniel Merritt under the ball that probably should have pushed back a touch harder.
Well, Leon Davis comes in, and regulation goal for him. Collingwood have the first 2 of term number 2.
And things starting to look a little bit dangerous now. Lesson to be learnt in the build-up for Justin Sherman, because when the ball is there at ground level, you've got to keep your feet. He didn't. His opponent did, Alan Didak. That enabled the ball to be kept alive up forward, and it ends up with Leon Davis, who used his forearms there. Didn't want to use the hands, did it well, but Daniel Merritt, a bloke that size, has just got to use his body and push back a lot harder.
Leon Davis kicked 2 goals against Brisbane round 10 last season. Second in Collingwood's team for tackles, so he works hard off the ball as well. That's an element he's added to his game. As umpire Matthew Nichols restart in the second term. Brisbane looking for a goal to steady the ship at the moment. Simon Black carrying a couple of tacklers with him as he tries to work the ball out of the centre. This is Stiller out for Patfull. Went with it one-handed. Didak scoops it up. Now around the body. Works it to the wing for O'Brien. Can he keep it alive? He's got numbers. Helped out by the Shepherd. Pass upwards looking for Medhurst. Been lively in his comeback match. Centres the ball here for Alan Tuvey, who plays on quickly. Goes wider, bringing it out to Tarkin Lockyer.
Just starting to find too much space. The midfield of the Collingwood Football Club just getting away from their Brisbane Lions opponents far too easy.
There's nothing spectacular about the way Collingwood play, but they're very professional. They play the percentages. They don't make too many silly mistakes, and that's the difference between the two sides at the moment.
He's already taken 5 marks in this match, Lockyer. Averages 9 per game, which is top 5 in the AFL, coming in 6 goals, 6 so far this season. Gives it some body language, but misses to the near side.
He's playing more time forward this year than he has in the past, and He's certainly disposal by feet is fantastic, but adding a little bit of defensive pressure in the forward half for Collingwood as well.
Interesting setup for the kick out. There was one huddle at centre half back and another huddle of the forwards at centre half forward.
A strong mark from Cheney. Stiller under pressure from Scott Burns. Held his ground well. Now set up Daniel Merritt coming in over the back for Collingwood Pendlebury. And he has won a free kick.
Just a clumsy free kick.
They're the silly errors we're talking about. I mean, you just can't afford to give cheap possession up because Collingwood will hurt you.
13 free kicks to 9. Collingwood lead that category. Almost 8 minutes played. Pendlebury's going to retreat to the half-back line for the support of Tyson Goldsack. Lockyer had to stop and wait under pressure from Lapham, but did a good job.
Talk about mark under pressure there. That was a very good mark by Tarkin Lockyer.
Goes short to Johnson, barely the 15. Right in front of the umpire, though. He goes wider. Here's Goldsack. Ghosted down from half-back.
Just probably need to go quicker, long to Rocker.
Goes in that direction now. Rocker in best position and takes the mark.
And that was Rocker had been free. He's actually working Daniel Merritt around the forward 50. He was pushing up towards the 50-metre line, but working Merritt back. Once again, Merritt got caught in front, so he just needed a long, penetrating kick to the goal square. You just see here, Anthony Rocker's got to think his way through this here. Probably got to even walk a little bit closer towards the goals and then jump right.
Rocker has missed to the near side. It's too acute an angle on the shot. It's a minor score.
Didn't do it particularly well, Anthony Rocker, but I'll tell you what they do allow now, and that is players to stand very close on the side of the mark now, and you don't have as much room to run around. Just good use of the body there. Just used his elbow and his hip just to give him a little nudge underneath the ball.
Because, Jace, it's supposed to be 5 metres as well, and you have a look at that. There is no way that's 5 metres.
Adcock restarts for Brisbane and goes long. They do that 24% of the time, which is the second most in the AFL. But it's coming back in. Or Medhurst had it spent before he controlled it. Now he's got some problems. Ball comes out the back. Adcock and Stiller in traffic, still working hard. Now an opportunity for Lappin. Notting mishandled the ball. Lappin cleans up for him. Brisbane eventually get it away from their defensive 50. Luke Power puts it out in front of the teammate. A strong mark taken here by Copeland. The birthday boy turns 26 today. Looking for Jonathan Brown and coming across. Strong mark has been taken here by Mitchell Clark.
Well, they are isolating some good one-on-one contests. Mitchell Clark's certainly got a height advantage over Maxwell. He's an experienced player, Nick Maxwell, but certainly giving away a bit of size. You can just see him there getting a little bit lost, and he tries to reach over for the spoil. Doesn't have a long enough arm. Mitch Clark missed one he probably should have kicked in the first quarter. They desperately need one here, the Lions.
The 19-year-old comes in once more. At the moment, the margin 18, the biggest we've seen in the match so far. Doesn't look confident. Stutter Stetson was lucky to scrape it in for a minor score as we go down to Rowan Smith.
Ash McGrath just came off from the Brisbane forward line. They're just having a look at his right knee. They're taping it up at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes back on. It looks like he's in a little bit of pain, but should be back on soon.
He's a player they
Brody Holland in game number 150. Happy to play a patient game at the moment, right on the boundary line. Good defensive pressure there again from Troy Selwood. Works it over.
Yeah, they obviously identified Dane Swan as one of the players they wanted to shut down because Selwood's running with him. That's a big rap on Dane Swan.
Fraser with a tap to Scott Burns in traffic. Gave it up to Swan, but he went nowhere. Simon Black farms out another hand pass. Now an opportunity coming across there for Drummond, but he's outnumbered. The help supplied there by Hadley. Burns in over the top of him. Hadley needs to knock it out and does so. But he's still being caught for holding the ball.
That was good work from Burns. Had the opportunity probably to jump straight into his back and give a free kick away.
Sherman works to the front against Didak and now applies the tackle. Good defensive work. Stiller helps out. Opportunity for the Lions. Fixter Gets it off to Black. Disposal number 14, the most in the game, and it's a good one as he hits the chest of a nervous-looking Mitchell Clark.
That was such a good kick in heavy traffic. He spotted it up. He turned around. He was running onto his right foot, just propped, looked up left and saw Mitchell Clark on the good lead into the corridor. He had to wait the kick to get it over the Collingwood player that was sitting in front of the lead, and it just cleared Scotty Burns. Boy, after that last kick, what are we going to get this time?
Keep the head down, get a bit of momentum in his run-up.
A little bit further out might be a good thing for him.
He's playing his first game since round 7 against Hawthorn last season. This one's coming back, and after 2 misses, it's Mitchell Clark who gets Brisbane's first goal of term number 2.
Well done to Mitchell Clark.
I don't know that there was that much of a margin between the ball and the post again. That's why Mitchie got the little instep then, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a fair bit of rotation in the drop to the right boot, but the Brisbane Lions coaching staff have massive raps on this guy, and we've seen why they are massive raps, because the way he presents himself at the ball, can take a very good contested mark and at the same time move into a lead. Wasn't a great drop, but he's got a goal on the board, which is great for him.
Taken number 9 in the 2005 draft from East Fremantle. Mitchell Clark, his first game of the season, gets the goal. And Brisbane closed to within 11 points. Almost 14 minutes played in the second term. Very entertaining affair from the Gabba. Trust you are enjoying our coverage here on Saturday Night Football. Lappin, handball. Not the best, but it went to Simon Black, and that's always a good option as he dances around an opponent. Looking for a short pass, it goes astray. It's cut out here by Dane Swan.
His last kick was very good. That one was very poor. But they've got the 3 main possession getters on the ground. Black with 15, Stiller with 13, Power 11 for the Lions.
Opportunity now for Collingwood. Goes to the lead of Rocker, who found a yard against Daniel Merritt.
And could give it a run if he wanted to.
Get the journey.
Vacant goal square. Rocker wheels around, goes long. Leon Davis emerges, and here's an opportunity now for Tuvey. Got it to Didat. Good tackle. Ball spills free. Travis Cloak up and under. The mark taking there.
They can't play that.
By Pendlebury. Surely that hasn't gone 15.
Well, maybe it didn't go 15, but there were 3 Brisbane Lions players there, and not one of them was able to spoil. Again, these opportunities are coming from errors from the Brisbane Lions. The long kick went in. I don't know who the Lions player was that came in for the big punch. He just had an air swing. It should have been knocked through for a behind.
You're spot on. That wasn't 15, but Lee Matthews will be very disappointed with the effort.
Well, Pendlebury made a mess of that as well, and it's a minus score, and Collingwood's goal-kicking woes continue.
Lucky let off for the Lions that time. If they keep making mistakes, there's no way they'll win this match.
Wasn't on that much of an angle. Probably didn't really need to swing around onto the left foot.
It's got a little excited. Lapping the target here, reaching in over the back. Dane Swan with the spoil, with support from Lockyer. Now goes short. And Collingwood carving them up at the moment. Pendlebury is everywhere.
Now that's nearly identical to that first quarter where they kicked to a 1-on-1 contest.
Hands off.
Rocker from just inside the centre square. Gives it a ride. And he is off target as well.
It's okay to kick to a contest from a kick out, but you've got to have support at ground level, and the Lions haven't had that the last couple of times. They've kicked long to a contest, lapping in space.
Especially when it's a soft zone, you should be able to get someone at least free for a 35-metre pass, which they have on this occasion.
Collingwood have kicked 2-4 to 1-1 so far in the second term. They played 16 minutes. And again, the Lions having trouble engineering the ball up the ground. Lappin around the body for Riscatelli. Handball. Set his teammate Knighting up, but he was good enough to get it to Jed Adcock. He goes long, cut out on the lead. Strong mark taken by Clark.
He looks the one, doesn't he? He looks the one, he moves well. He's also got a good leap and a good set of hands. It didn't look pretty coming from half back for Brisbane, but the one thing they did do was they kept the ball in the corridor, and eventually it opened up, and Jed Adcock had space to kick long to the lead. Look at the hands. No chance of spoiling that.
Moves well. Now, the last one wasn't a great drop, but it was a goal, so he's feeling a little bit better about himself now, lined up for his second goal.
In comes Mitchell Clark. Looks good, holding its line, and Mitchell Clark has kicked back-to-back goals for the Brisbane Lions.
Still didn't exactly flush it, but I reckon it was a better drop than his last attempt. But he's moving so well, and he's a perfect foil for Jonathan Brown, who's pushing a little bit more up towards centre forward and leaving the mismatch deep with Mitch Clark moving very well. A bit too agile for Maxwell, and certainly got the height, so he's going to be dangerous deep in the goal square.
See, good luck to any defender that's going to try and spoil that if they're running behind him.
Lions back to within 7 points. 2 goals in 4 minutes from Mitchell Clark.
Just looks a great talent, doesn't he? So exciting.
McDonald doing the ruck work for Brisbane. Josh Fraser has won a free kick, slinging Riscatelli to the ground. Incorrect disposal is the call.
They've spread well here, O'Brien.
Lockyer wants it short at centre half forward.
They've done that well. That little short hit up pass to the 50-metre line. The only thing is you're kicking from long range.
This guy's a very good kick of the footy, whether it's distance or whether it's finding a lead.
I think he wants to find someone. He's just looking around.
Disposal number 12 for Lockyer to the goal square. Big pack develops. And after the loose ball, Collingwood, O'Brien quickly onto the boot, finds Didak. Shut down quickly. Riscatelli with the loose ball. One way, back the other. Now wants Merritt involved. Fixter at close quarters. Looking for Jonathan Brown, who slipped, allowed Prestigiacomo to come in. Short pass. Finds Reece Shaw.
To get back off his mark and find someone a bit closer. Once again, 55 metres out, he's going to have a kick from. Doesn't want to have a shot. Play on's call.
Drives it long to the goal square. Rocker at the front of the pack. Couldn't bring it down. Loose ball. Dale Thomas got a foot on it. He's hit the post. A minor score as we go to Rowan Smith.
Jonathan Brown said during the week that the person they've missed the most this year is Daniel Bradshaw, and Mitch Clark is certainly filling his spot in tonight.
Absolutely. See what, they wouldn't mind Daniel Bradshaw at the other end at the moment either. They do look shaky every time the ball goes deep forward for Collingwood.
Ideally, I think you put Bradshaw at centre half back. Then you've got the big kid Matthew Leuenberger, who's probably about 3 or 4 weeks away.
Jonathan Brown out on the lead. No look handball to Lappin. Tucked in on the boundary line. Trying to work the ball to Clark, unable to keep it alive. Out of bounds as we almost get to time on here in term number 2. 2 goals apiece. Collingwood getting the first 2, Brisbane the last 2. And Fixter looking to get them forward again. Needs help provided by Patfull, but the ball has gone out of bounds.
The crowd don't like it because Patfull was away. They would have been having a shot on goal, or at least attempting to hit a pass and to hit up. Let's have a look.
Where Dale Thomas took the ball basically over the fence.
The whole ball's got to be over the line. I don't know if it was.
Shallow throw in again to the advantage of Richards, but Brisbane have come up with it. A racing away chance now for the Brisbane Lions. Another minor score for them. Riscatelli.
They've worked their way back into the game, and certainly the presence of Mitch Clark up forwards lifted the confidence of the midfield and half-back division of the Lions.
Lockyer. Mark number 8.
Not much on for him here.
Let's go short. Kicks out Guy Richards. Late replacement for Chris Bryan, who withdrew before the game. We move inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. Collingwood by 7 points. Dale Thomas allowed to take that mark a little too easy. Selwood late in arriving.
Once again, not a lot presenting. Rocker's going to have to push up to half forward.
Thomas called to play on. Looks for Anthony Rocker, wrestling with Merritt. Did a good job to get rid of him. Hands off to O'Brien. Works the ball in the Leon Davis direction. Adcock with him. That's almost a mark.
Absolutely. Great play.
Tremendous defensive work from Jed Adcock.
Good body strength to hold his ground. I mean, he's got a weight advantage over his opponent, but just held his position, got a fist on it and took the mark.
Lappin looking for some options. Put it out in front of the ruckman. Bo McDonald wasn't best pleased by that. Dane Swan gets it over now, looking for the support of Brodie Holland, who works it to the wing. Shaw has to wait underneath it. Good spoil coming from Luke Power. Nice second effort there coming from the Magpies, though. And now it's Johnson. Goes with a long raking left boot. Looking up for Josh Fraser.
That was good transition. Ball came back through the middle.
Play on!
Well, they played on quickly here. Josh Fraser now looking to make amends. Has Davis in support.
It's a free kick.
And another free kick.
They made mistake after mistake, Brisbane.
That is killing the Brisbane Lions.
Played, and Collingwood have kicked their third in this period.
Unbelievable. They were given a chance to get out of jail then, the Brisbane Lions. It was a sloppy hand pass from Josh Fraser looking for Alan Didak. Had a chance to tackle Didak and drag him through, but that didn't work. Then it came out again. They gave a free kick away as well as allowing the snap to be done, but they just look a little bit loose down back in defence, the Brisbane Lions. Collingwood look like they'll score every time it gets up there.
Two goals in this second term for Leon Davis. Had two last week against the Western Bulldogs as well. The smallest man on the Gabba tonight. Kicked out of mid-air by O'Brien, but only as far as Troy Selwood. Comes out wide looking for Luke Power.
It'll be interesting, Jason. We'll have a look at it at half-time to see how many goals Collingwood's kicked, as that one was an advantage play from free kicks.
There you go, Merritt with the ball in the middle of the ground. He's got to make the right decisions here.
Long kick, taken down. Adcock trying to milk it. Umpire was having none of it. Patfull leads the charge at the moment under pressure from Reece Shaw, who tries to harass him over the boundary line, and that's what has happened.
Have a look at Jed Adcock coming through the middle. He gets the kick away. I think he is hamming a little bit there. Looking for the Academy Award.
Just the free kick downfield would have been handy, but he missed out.
Again, a shallow throw in. Guy Richards takes it out at the ruck contest. Fixter appeared to be pushed in the back, goes unwhistled. McDonald crunched to the ground as well. It's scooped up, and a goal has been kicked by the Brisbane Lions.
Had to work hard, the Brisbane Lions, for that one, but that was good scrapping. Bo McDonald was involved, and Joel Patfull, nice handy snap on goal. The pressure in the forward half was certainly a lot better to try to hold the ball in. You get multiple opportunities to get a shot on goal, and on that occasion Patfull was very good.
Well, Patfull's kicked goals in 6 of the 9 matches now this season. He's been a good foil in the forward line for Jonathan Brown and Ash McGrath. And with McGrath struggling with a knee problem at the moment, he's going to be even more important for the Brisbane Lions. 7-point lead for Collingwood. We started this term with the Magpies leading by 4, but Riscatelli has put Brisbane forward once more.
Oh, great by Heath Shaw.
Tremendous work in the defensive 50 from Heath Shaw.
We've seen him do that sort of body work before, but he's done it a couple of times now on Robert Copeland.
Well, he's getting an enormous amount of attention, which is a great respect to him. They're trying to shut him down with Copeland.
Well, they're doing a good job. He still only had 7 possessions, not giving him the usual dash out of defence, so it's certainly working for Brisbane.
Dale Thomas goes short, finds Johnson. Less than 2 minutes remaining until half-time. Collingwood again work it up to their half-forward line, and Travis Cloak has got it. Not beyond his range. He's going to set it up. And has tugged it to the near side and has missed everything.
Let's have a look at the bodywork here from Heath Shaw. There is a hand in the middle of the back there. That is a free kick.
It's a good grab.
It's a fantastic grab,
Very good grab.
Technically, the way they've paid it all year, it should be a free kick.
Black working hard and has won the possession, coming up for disposal number 17, his career high of 39. Could be in some danger tonight. Good work from Thomas there, getting to the ball ahead of Troy Selwood. Brisbane now back to Simon Black. Tries his luck once more. Patfull wrestled Harry O'Brien out of the equation and now plays on with the left foot. Gets it deep. Heath Shaw getting back. Needs to be quick. Doesn't have to run it over the line. Decides to keep it in. And Scott Burns will now relieve some pressure for Collingwood. Over the top. Collision coming, but he was strong enough, Nick Maxwell, to get beyond it. Ben Johnson goes short. Collingwood to their half-forward line. Coming out, Medhurst. Jason Rose supplies the spoil. Now it's Sherman working the triangle here with Tim Notting. He goes for the lead of Jamie Charman. 30 seconds remaining in the second term. Simon Black shovels another one forward. Hadley couldn't handle it, but has won a free kick against Reece Shaw.
Lucky free kick, but they've got a chance here to kick a goal just before half-time if they move the ball quickly.
Lead coming from Clark, couldn't handle it. Loose ball. Now an opportunity for Charman, under pressure, good tackle applied. Jonathan Brown with Prestigiacomo to contend with, and they can't make anything off it. They were looming there in the dying seconds of the second term. But after leading by 4 points at quarter time, Collingwood have a 7-point lead here at the major break. We'll have more for you from the Gabba on Saturday Night Football right after this.
The worrying trend, though, from a Brisbane perspective, though, is they have now lost 10 quarters of football in a row.
That is very disappointing. I think Lee Matthews would have addressed the turnovers and the free kicks in the defensive half, really costing the Lions in that first half of football.
Second half gets underway from the Gabba. Collingwood leading by 7 points. If we give the Brisbane Lion fans some hope, Collingwood led by 17 points at halftime last week and were rolled by the Western Bulldogs, and Joel Patfull has won a free kick to send Brisbane forward at the start of term number 3. Good body work on that occasion from Nick Maxwell, just shoving Mitchell Clark out of the way and taking a relieving mark. Gets a ball out wide. Tyson Goldsack up and under. Good work there from Pendlebury, just making the space for Lockyer to take his 9th mark, and now it's Rocker out on the lead.
I don't think they'll mind too much if that's where Anthony Rocker's getting the ball.
Just forward of the wing goes long. Travis Cloak couldn't bring it down. Hands from Simon Black retreating. Skills from Tim Notting. Sold the dummy. Selwood to Simon Black. Disposal number 22. The Jet Adcock has support. Uses Riscatelli. Running through the centre of the ground. Goes long. Best position here is Mitchell Clark, and he's taken the mark.
He did that well, Mitchell Clark. I thought it was a reasonably average kick coming forward to him. He led one way and it was ignored. Then he pointed back the other way where he wanted, and in the end the ball was just bombed up long by Riscatelli, but he was clever enough just to keep his eyes on the footy. He had Maxwell backpedaling, kept him off balance, and just good hands.
Important kick for the Brisbane Lions. Played 80 seconds of the second half. Mitchell Clark comes in. It wasn't pretty off the boot, but it's 6 nonetheless.
And how good does that feel when you have the floater that goes through? And he's on fire. His confidence in his hands is certainly up. He made that good a position here, and he had Maxwell done cold. Even though it was a poor kick from Riscatelli, still had plenty of time. We just see he doubled back. The ball was high and long, but he's got to work on that drop of the ball. He's just dropping it from far too high, and it's spinning twice before it hits the boot.
It was an extraordinary kick from Mitchell Clark. He's making the ball sing. He just doesn't know what tune he's got to play. That's the problem.
Back to a 1-point ball game. And it's Lappin trying to get Brisbane out of the centre square once more. Ash McGrath has been hampered by that knee strain that he suffered. Didn't look good warming up before term number 3, but he's out there at the moment as Notting takes them on. Needs the support of Lappin. Didn't do him any favours though. Lockyer into his back a little. Lappin did that well. Black shovels out a hand pass to Riscatelli. Comes back onto the right foot. Works it to the hot spot where Jonathan Brown is looming. Thomas back with courage. Heath Shaw had an airy. Harry O'Brien got it to the advantage of his teammate. Dale Thomas has stayed down here. He took out Prestigiacomo. They're slow getting back to their feet. Copeland couldn't get enough on it. O'Brien to Maxwell, who takes a bounce. Sold his teammate into trouble there, Alan Tuvey, who gets it out to Dane Swan, and they'll relieve the pressure. Maxwell, long, looking for Clay.
good
It's an
grab.
excellent mark.
Play on.
Looks to the goal square where Medhurst is looming, but he's gone beyond Medhurst. Has he got it over the line? It's a big kick, and it's a goal for Collingwood.
That was such an important goal, or a transition out of their defensive half. As have a look at Dale Thomas, went back to help his teammate and Simon Prestigiacomo up against Jonathan Brown. Big heavy clash.
Didn't help him too much though, because he's cleaned up Presti in the
Cleaned
end.
up the wrong bloke, and it drives you mad when your teammate cleans you up. But you see Cloak from long range, but the fact they were 2 men down in the defensive half for about 10 seconds, so it was a very good transition.
For the 5th consecutive week, Travis Cloak scores at least 1 goal for Collingwood. They have a 7-point lead, 4 and a bit minutes played. Term number 3 from the Gabba. As Charman and Guy Richards go at it again, Riscatelli. As Brisbane look to the half-forward line, Jonathan Brown out on a strong lead. Fans want 50. Umpire doesn't see it that way. Jonathan Brown looks up.
Good
It's
kick.
a lead.
Kick.
That's an excellent kick and a nice mark as well as being taken by Mitchell Clark.
And the thing that was that clever about that kick was he identified where the space was. He saw where Mitchell Clark was running. He didn't try and pinpoint it because he had to clear a little bit of traffic. He just chipped it into space. Good hands on the lead. Certainly no 50 there. That's in the one motion. Presti time to put pressure on. But he just chips it into space and allows Mitchell Clark to run onto it.
Isn't that fantastic confidence in a young player?
19-year-old Mitchell Clark coming in for goal number 4. A rising star of the AFL. He's got his kicking boots on now, and it is all happening for the teenager.
Jonathan Brown, the premier forward in the competition. He took a very good mark, but he's had to push up the ground to get it. But he looked up, and he's looking for the youngster who's playing his first game in 12 months. And that's the sort of impact this young man, Mitch Clark, is having on this game in the first half. Beautifully weighted kick out in front of the first gamer, and that's a very good set of hands. The drop, it's getting a little better, but that was a goal.
2 goals in the first 5 minutes of term number 3. And Brisbane are breathing down Collingwood's neck. As Charman and Guy Richards go at it once more.
Just never looked at the footy, Jamie Charman. An obvious free kick.
Richards to the half-forward line and Cloak's out on the lead again. Decides to go into the pocket where Rocker takes them on, and that's a strong mark.
That was a good mark, and Daniel Merritt's very disappointed. But the one thing is that the Collingwood forwards cannot take a mark in that centre corridor 30 metres out from goal. They're pushed wide, or it's up around the 50-metre mark. But that is a good pass, but pushed wide. So that's one thing that Daniel Merritt can hang his hat on. That's a tough shot on goal.
Well, he's top 10 all-time in goals kicked at Collingwood. 3 goals last week against the Western Bulldogs. 2 points so far tonight. And Rocker has another minor score.
It was close. They probably deserved to have a goal kicked against them, Brisbane, because they will not learn. A silly kick from Jamie Charman in front of in the centre square, and all of a sudden they're having a shot for goal. They won't win if they continue to do that.
Charman got a hand on that just before Anthony Rocker was going to claim the mark. Good tackle applied by Tim Notting. And Tubi's been caught holding the ball. Notting patiently. They're getting the hurry up and told to play on. By umpire Hayden Kennedy. He's approaching 400 AFL matches himself. The fist provided by Guy Richards. Out of bounds. Almost 8 minutes played, term number 3. Shallow throw in. Guy Richards awake to it. Tapped it down. Didn't do his teammate any favours though. He's shut down very quickly. Breeze. We go down to Rowan Smith.
Luke Power's just been moved up forward to be a smart going forward, and Nigel Appin's moved into the midfield just to add a little bit of run.
Charman getting a run at it. Notting, third man up. Simon Black will get the free kick. Coming up for disposal, 24. Gets it long. Some work to do here for the Collingwood defenders. Power Scoops up the loose ball. He's only just been moved there, according to Rowan Smith, and he's had an immediate impact. Brisbane back in front for the first time since the first 10 minutes of the game.
The pleasing thing there was to see the players running over after the goal was kicked to Mitchell Clark, because he gets a very important touch with the left hand. He's 1 against 3, but he pulls it back to the advantage of his teammate, and Luke Powell makes no mistake.
And this is a massive wrap for young Mitch Clark. Simon Prestigiacomo has been moved on to him. Maxwell out on the Jonathan Brown, so a big handful, but they continue to go deep through the corridor.
Be a strange feeling for Nick Maxwell. I reckon you've just been moved off an opponent and you lob on to Jonathan Brown.
Yeah, you think you've been moved because you've had a bad one. Look out.
Well, Brisbane have kicked 3 goals to 1 in the first 9 minutes since half-time. Retaken the lead. Ben Johnson lucky to get away with it. They farm the handball out this time through Maxwell, looking for the support of Dane Swan. He goes over the top. Ben Johnson, time to steady. Leon Davis climbs high, couldn't bring it down. Running onto it, Burns looking for Davis, who goes around the body. And Leon Davis has the answering goal for the Collingwood.
Good thing about that snap goal is what I've been talking about over the last 10 minutes is the lack of ability for Collingwood to get a contest deep in their forward 50. This has gone deep. It wasn't the ideal player to be jumping for the ball, but he made a contest. The ball hits the ground. Good hands from Burns. Snap on goal. Collingwood need to get the ball to that position in the forward 50 more often if they're going to win this game.
Well, Leon Davis with 3 goals. That brings up number 150 in his career. As I mentioned, his last 5 games against Brisbane, he's kicked goals. Enjoys playing against the Lions as Lappin works Brisbane out of the centre square, but only as far as Dale Thomas, who gets it on quickly, looking for Lockyer.
One thing they have done very well tonight, Collingwood, is whenever Brisbane's got a goal or kicked a couple, they've bounced back and answered very quickly.
Fraser goes long, Rocker with 2 to beat Merritt over the back. Getting support from Riscatelli at the moment, might be happy to run this over for a minor score.
Both teams playing a loose man defence. Ben Johnson for Collingwood, the extra in their defensive half, and Troy Selwood is back for the Brisbane Lions as this goes out by the look of it.
Interesting kick in, kept alive by Simon Black. Just over 11 minutes played, term number 3.
24 touches for Simon Black, 17 kicks, 7 handballs.
Richards, Fraser over the back, getting it to Johnson, who goes quickly. Medhurst couldn't take the mark as Travis Cloak almost throwing it, caught holding the ball.
Great tackle from Jason Rowe. Ping Cloak's right arm, couldn't get a hand onto it, and the umpire has adjudicated that was incorrect disposal, threw the ball.
And Travis Cloak was adamant that he got a fist to it. He did take an attorney. I'm happy to see the tackle get rewarded, but in the context of the evening,
I think
he's probably a bit stiff because players have been given plenty of time to get rid of the ball.
Selwood showed enough of it to Dane Swan. Brisbane good enough to get out of trouble. Luke Powell with 2 bounces to Lappin. That's to no one. Coming across to take the mark, Nick Maxwell played on. Needs Prestigiacomo's support. Now Thomas goes laterally and brings it out to Tarkin Lockyer, who takes his 11th mark of the game. That equals his career best. Thomas goes again. Needs to be good with this kick, and it wasn't. Notting, not looking at the ball.
He was not smart twice, Tim Notting, then, and he got lucky. He got away with it.
Tuvey tackles him. Good speed from Reece Short to get to the contest. Tuvey again. That's incorrect disposal, and Tuvey gives away another free kick.
That's a great tackle from Jonathan Brown. It just locked the arms, didn't it?
Just a terrible turnover for Collingwood, though.
Black has Clark on the lead. That's not going to do him any favours.
About to say when the kick came in, this will test him at ground level. He didn't bother, he just threw out a foot at it.
He just shouldered arms, didn't he? He just padded up to that one. But the last 2 forward 50 entries, he's drawn the ball. They're looking for Mitch Clark.
Not going to have it all his own way now with the human glove on him, though, in Presti.
Black had 24 possessions last week, already up to 25 this week. Pendlebury Needs to get rid of it quickly to Burns. Gets good distance with the kick. Notting. Over the back, working hard here against Tuvey. It's been a good contest, but Brisbane with numbers. Hadley to Power. Has a man in the pocket, but wants to centre the ball. Good work there coming from Nick Maxwell to deny Charman. Riscatelli after it. Can't reel it in. Reshaw drags him off the ball. Cloak in support. Reshaw goes again. Working out wide. Mark has been taken here by Dane Swan. Quickly looking for Lockyer. He goes short. And Ben Johnson bravely goes back to take the mark.
That was a good mark in the end. But Anthony Rocker had a fair bit of space in front of him.
That's inexcusable. A few of the Brisbane players looking around, but Josh Fraser was just standing in space, 25, 30 metres out directly in front. You can see Jamie Charman now heading to the bench for a spell, but no one picked him up on that occasion.
Josh Fraser has kicked 2 goals in the last 2 matches he's played in. He kicked the first goal of the game for Collingwood from a free kick. Comes in now to steady the ship. Gets the job done again.
Loose checking for the Brisbane Lions defenders. It has to be the communication, whether he's the ruckman or a stationary forward. Must be the communication to have everyone accounted for. Can't have loose forwards just wandering around inside the forward 50 like that.
He only had the 5 hit-outs, Josh Fraser, but certainly with 11 possessions and a couple of goals has been an important player.
Fraser into the ruck. One of 4 multiple goal kickers for Collingwood. A 9-point lead. 15 and a half minutes played. Term number 3 from the Gabba. McDonald gets the tap. Lappin couldn't control it. Weaving through traffic, Joel Patfull. Didn't get enough on the kick. Leon Davis over the top. Did a good job there for Collingwood. Johnson to Didak. Shut down quickly. Here's Power in a confined space. And a free kick will go for the Brisbane Lions.
Selwood just caught one high in that tackle. Just across the shoulder.
Centre of the ground, Luke Power has time to measure the kick. Out on the lead. Clark under pressure from Preston Giacomo, did it well with support. Now Lappin against Lockyer. Has Power in support. He backtracks as well. And the mark taken here by Adcock.
Once again, that was clever work from Mitch Clark. Didn't quite take the mark, but just delivered the ball around to his teammate.
Plenty of traffic ahead of him. Looks pretty busy, doesn't it?
Brown will have a jump at this.
Trying to shake off Harry O'Brien. Coming strongly, Nick Maxwell. Burns gets it out to Dale Thomas. And now Lockyer with a career high 12 marks. Quickly for Didak.
They didn't leave Maxwell too long on Jonathan Brown. Harry O'Brien has done some magnificent jobs on key forwards. He's got the big task now.
Didak told to play on. Put his teammate Pendlebury under pressure from Luke Power, but he was equal to the challenge, Pendlebury. Wants to go long. Burns was all alone. He's told to play on now. He still might go to Burns.
Just controlling the corridor, the lines at the moment, and continually pushing the Magpies wide.
Less than 8 minutes to play in this third term.
Well, it's one thing to push them wide, but if they continually allow Collingwood players just to hit up on the lead and not under too much pressure, they'll bring themselves undone.
Brody Holland will go backwards to Burns. Short to Johnson. Given some latitude, not 15, told to play on.
Just about every player behind the ball.
Pendlebury can't keep it alive. The Collingwood have the ball just outside their half-forward line.
And the chipping around's fine, but once you get to around the 75-metre mark and you can take a break, you've got to drive the ball long when there's been a one-on-one contest deep.
Lockyer leading the stats for Collingwood. As Ben Johnson eyes off the handball. O McDonald playing basketball with it. Quickly Johnson gets another touch. Medhurst, the ball run beyond him, and Jason Rowe will escort it over the line as we go to Rowan Smith.
Well, Collingwood are playing a pretty taxing style of footy here because when Brisbane go forward, they're getting all their numbers back, but when they get the ball, there's no one up forward to kick it to, so they've all got to charge down the ground.
Fraser wrestling with McDonald. Third man up was Tuvey. Medhurst with a hand pass. Some work to do here. And Rocker has taken out Jed Adcock, and he does not look good.
That would look like something we saw here Wednesday night in the State of Origin. That was a big hit. I think, nothing too bad about it. It was just his cock to Adcock high. There was nothing vicious about it. It was just a big man hitting a little man.
Gee, they're lucky not to give away 50 there, Collingwood, because the whistle went straight away. He's cleaned him up, and one of the Collingwood players picked up the loose ball and ran in and kicked the goal after the whistle had gone.
Now look here, Rocket comes in, front on. He's cocked him high, and that certainly would hurt, but there was nothing untoward about the tackle.
Talk about being out of your weight division. 85 kilos, Adcock. That's cruiserweight. And 108 for Anthony Rocker, super heavyweight. He doesn't look good, Jed Adcock, remembering that he only played 8 games last year because of a quad injury. He's been one of their best.
Can't afford to have Jed Adcock off the ground for too long. He's a very important factor of that defence.
And right now they're one short as well, Brisbane. He's looking for the boundary line.
Luke Power trying to get it over the head of Medhurst, but he's equal to the challenge and now
risky.
squares it up, looking for Lockyer, set him a task. Mark almost taken on that occasion by Tuvey, but Brisbane with an opportunity now. Bo McDonald, undecided, eventually gets it off to the advantage of Drummond. He works it up to the forward line and a push in the back.
Against
Thomas.
And Simon Black gets the free kick, wants to play on quickly. Jonathan Brown on the lead, can he make it? Reaches out again, it bounces off his chest. He reels it back in, and Collingwood will look to clear through Harry O'Brien. Only his 5th disposal of the game, but it's a good one as he relieves the pressure out wide to Travis Cloke.
It really is a game of inches. Jonathan Brown, he's lunged for a couple of diving chest marks that have just spilled out. If he takes them, could be another couple of goals on the Lions scoreboard.
It was a poor choice. I think it was Medhurst switching the ball into the centre corridor. It's one thing to chip around the outside, but we see Jonathan Brown stretch out again. Full stretch would have given the hamstring fibres a bit of a twinge, just couldn't get it. But switching into the corridor when you go into a contest with a kick over 50 metres, high risk.
Well, taking them on, Troy Selwood shut down. An opportunity now for Collingwood. O'Brien goes with a half torpedo punt, taken by Luke Power, and he's got numbers breaking for him to the outer wing.
Yeah, the next kick's the worry.
Dixter looking in and has set it up here. Caught flat-footed on that occasion was Drummond. But he came back with an excellent second effort, and Brisbane maintain possession now. O'Brien working hard here against Mitchell Clark. Clark comes back for seconds, did a good job as well, but Collingwood with numbers as Holland goes around the body and finds his teammate Shane O'Brien.
They're going to have to be fairly patient. Hadley and Luke Power are loose.
Well, Rocker's available as well. He heads in that direction, and Anthony Rocker takes the mark.
Didn't like a little bit of treatment either from Tim Notting. Reckons he got one high there, Anthony Rocker, just holding the face.
And actually was Tim Notting who was the extra loose defender with Luke Power back there.
So look at the little chip as it comes over. Notting with the attempted spoil. Just a little bit of chin music. He didn't like it, Anthony Rocker.
A little cliff over the ear hole.
Put it in the memory bank.
Just 3 points for Anthony Rocker so far tonight. He's kicked goals in 6 of the 8 games. But he's not getting close with that one. It's out of bounds on the full.
And that still is the major concern where the key forwards are taking possession of the ball. It is too wide and too far out from goal.
Switch of play from Luke Power needed to be precise, and he was, to find Bo McDonald.
Downfield, this is against Nick Maxwell, who cleaned up Selwood off the ball.
Little over 4 minutes out from three-quarter time. 9 points the difference in favour of Collingwood, who started this term leading by 7 points. As Selwood goes short and finds Josh Drummond.
Scotty, keep coming! Scotty, keep coming! That'll go.
Now it's Collingwood's turn. Just about everybody behind the ball again.
Long ball to the half-forward line. Jonathan Brown got a nudge, went unwhistled. This is Richard Hadley tucked in on the boundary line. Good kick for Simon Black in game number 200. He shakes Dale Thomas.
Free kick.
And has won a free kick as well.
Doesn't spend a lot of time at full forward, Simon Black, over his 200 games. Looked very comfortable under the long ball. And although his snapshot went straight up in the air, he's milked a free kick, or got a genuine free kick, and will have a shot on goal. And he's been outstanding. There's 27 touches. He's had the 13 handball receipts, 8 inside 50s, and he'll line up for his first goal of the night.
He's only kicked 4 goals this season, hasn't kicked a goal for 5 weeks, but he comes in, steadies the ship once more. It's a 3-point ball game.
Well, I guess he's never really had to rise to the occasion, Simon Black, because he always plays at such a high level. But in game number 200, he's certainly making it a memorable one. 28 touches, now a goal, and he's largely responsible for keeping Brisbane in this game the way he's played all night. Didn't look like there was a hell of a lot in the decision, but we'll just have a look. A hand in the back. Yeah, technically that's a correct decision.
Brisbane Lions 4 goals to 3 since half-time. Close to within 3 points once more. Seesawing affair from the Gabba. Charman gets the tap. Luke Power trying to chase it down, but Scott Burns, what a tremendous effort. Third in line, somehow came up with it, then gave it up to Charman, who needs the support of Troy Selwood, who goes forward. Unable to take the mark there was Josh Drummond under pressure. Tim Notting is there to clean up though. Goldsack needed to do a little better. Notting still going, shakes the tackle, goes with the handball over the top. And Brisbane attacking once more. Jonathan Brown has 2 to beat. Ball trickles over the back and out of bounds.
Did well, Tim Notting, but realistically the Collingwood players just had to do better. Had to make the tackle and get him over the line. Brown's dangerous in this situation with the taps.
2.5 minutes to play, term number 3. Heathshaw works it out, but not very far. Black on all fours gets it to Jonathan Brown. He swings around the body. It's high, but it's inaccurate. It's a minus score, and Brisbane edge a little closer. Collingwood restart quickly through Thomas. Gets the support of Brodie Holland, and now Scott Burns. Out on the lead, Didak. Couldn't handle the mark, needed to do better. Burns is there to help him out though. Goes short once more to find O'Brien. Gets a lead from Cloak, that's ignored. Wants Anthony Rocker charging out with 3 to beat. Well read by Pendlebury. Weighted down, gets the handball over the top, and the goal here will be kicked by Dane Swan.
It didn't look like terribly troubled moment for the Brisbane Lions defence. They had the numbers, they had the ruckman in Charman dropping back into the hole. The trouble is 3 of them went for the spoil and nobody stayed down. Pendlebury was the one man there who collected the loose ball. Look at that, 3 of them flying for the spoil. Anthony Rocker creates the spill of the ball. Comes down to Pendlebury, hand pass over the top to Swan, goal.
Dane Swan gets his first goal of the night and steadies the ship for Collingwood. They now have an 8-point buffer. And Brisbane again with some work to do. Richardson, Charman again. Charman just looked at his opponent, lucky not to give away a free kick. Luke Power breaks the tackle, goes forward. Copeland couldn't take the mark. Heathshaw after it. Simon Black kept it alive. Here's Jonathan Brown. Wheeling and dealing. Goes over the shoulder. Jonathan Brown. But again has hooked it too far and it's out of bounds on the full.
See, they've had a few opportunities, the Lions. Jonathan Brown's had a couple and just can't make them count.
Brodie Holland.
Great run from Lockyer.
And grabs the mark. Building on his career best. That's 14 and counting now in marks for Lockyer. Excellent defensive work on that occasion from Wade Mills.
Yeah, fantastic work rate. He ran 80 to 90 metres into space to get that possession.
10 kicks, 6 marks, 1 goal for Travis Cloak. So hasn't done a bad job, Wade Mills.
Just over a minute to play. Term number 3. Collingwood pressing again. Lions defence under pressure. Wayne Swan getting into the back of his opponent lap, and it goes unwhistled. Swan tries to wheel out of the pack. He's going nowhere. And umpire Hayden Kennedy will come in.
You can see Sean O'Brien just telling everyone to get out of the road, spread it out.
Richards got a fist on it. Now Lockyer dragged to the ground. Collingwood fans wanted a free kick. Maxwell's got it now. He hoists it long right to the goal square. Brisbane with numbers back, but again they all flew, staying down Cloak, but it's over the line and a minor score.
Did I call my ex-teammate Sean O'Brien?
Yep, you did.
Sorry, Shane.
Well, Lockyer feeling a little aggrieved there. Taken down heavily, no free kick as Merritt restarts. Now without Jed Adcock, Merritt doing the kicking in.
Which is a bit of a worry in itself, given we've seen a couple of turnovers from Daniel Merritt. But he thought that through very well. He found the loose player and he hit the target.
Selwood looking for an option. Lions do not want to concede another goal and are running out of time to score one of their own. In a very even third term. Has fixed it. Was tackled by Rocker. Going nowhere is Riscatelli. And that is all for term number 3. We are set up for a tremendous finale here at the Gabba on Saturday Night Football. Collingwood, who led by 7 points at halftime, have a 9-point lead. And Simon Black with 29 possessions to lead all players in that category, doing his best. Can Brisbane come from behind here and make his 200th game the celebration they're hoping for, or will Collingwood prevail? You'll find out when you come back right after this. Rowan Smith there with Brad Scott, who's now working for Collingwood. His brother Chris Scott is sitting in the crowd, hasn't played since 2005, but we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He's hoping to return in the not too distant future. They could do with his services right now.
It's been a terrible story, poor old Chris Scott. He's worked so hard but just been struck down by injury time and time again.
Well, he's paying the price for pushing through and having injections to play, and that's what's hurting him now.
Underway in the final quarter, Josh Fraser doing the ruck duties for Collingwood. And they'll work it out of the centre square through Shane O'Brien, the former Brisbane player.
His hands in the back.
He picked it up early.
Free kick to Alan Didak. He moves it on quickly, looking for Travis Cloak. Over the top came Merritt unsuccessfully. Now a 2-on-2. Merritt, quick hands. Got it to Selwood. Didn't like that handball in the direction of Charman. Brady Holland trying to draw a free kick and able to do so. Lappin to Charman. Black running past. Didn't do him any favours, but he got it eventually. And now Sherman off and running. Support from Fixter, a shocking kick. Patfull, his handball wasn't on the money either. Well, they're having all sorts of trouble at the moment, Brisbane.
Yeah, they won possession there by default. They're the little areas we're talking about, Lynchy. They just can't handle the ball cleanly or hit a target by hand.
Under enormous amount of pressure. And Daniel Merritt, just a little lesson I'm sure will be brought up during the week. Must keep the ball in front of him. Can't let it get over the back.
Maxwell goes the punch. O'Brien there looking to clean up. Nodding escorts him and the ball over the line.
Desperate to get the first goal here, the Brisbane Lions. If Collingwood get the first goal, you'd think that margin might be a little bit too big to peg back.
Fraser, front position against Charman. And goes down to do the roving as well, wrapped up. And coming in umpire Derek Woodcock.
You just even noticed Jamie Charman there, just helping himself off the ground with a right hand firmly pressed into Josh Fraser.
Tangle of arms again. Tim Notting sharks the tap from Fraser. Space to work into. Centres the ball. Jonathan Brown going back. Courage and strength. What a mark.
There was all sorts of traffic coming there and he could have got cleaned up, but this guy doesn't know any other way other than to focus on the footy and attack it in whatever direction he has to go to get there. You have a look at him coming back. You've got Patfull out on the lead, Copeland coming across, opponents next to them, but he just focuses on the footy.
You talk about that body strength. He's pushed back hard with Presti hanging on to him basically. And you can just feel his work rate certainly there over the last few weeks. Just can't grab a game by the scruff of the throat. This could be the quarter, and this is the quarter that the Brisbane Lions need this man to stand up and kick a few goals.
1 goal, 2 so far tonight. Kick one in the first term.
He's pulled it again.
and has cannoned that into the post.
Well, they just won't win.
Well, he'd be laying awake at night.
Yep.
This is really starting to worry him now. You see, obviously he's disappointed, but Jonathan Brown is a very good kick on goal, but this last 5 weeks is just starting to play in his mind.
Not enough margin in this game for them to miss gilt-edged opportunities like that.
Heath Shaw to his older brother Reece Shaw. And they've worked it up to the wing without Brisbane touching the ball, so good work out of their defensive 50.
That's just that's your regulation shot, 30 out directly in front, and he seems to be missing 90-95% of his shots to the left, doesn't he?
He's not confident at all.
Charman palms the ball down, picked up himself and goes again. Out comes Jonathan Brown to take a strong mark.
Won't stop him going for him though.
Pass intended for Clark, cut out by Dale Thomas. Now it's Lappin, almost a throw. Harry O'Brien with his head over the ball. Now Brodie Holland in game number 150 shares it out wide, needing the support of Dane Swan. Did that go 15? And Dale Thomas has taken the mark.
10 possessions for Thomas. Been on and off the ground at times. Spent some time at full forward as well.
And there's Brodie Holland taking the mark. He's judged it a little better than Riscatelli. Looking to go short. And has found Alan Tuvey. Coming up for disposal number 13. Now Josh Fraser.
They've got to create a turnover here, Brisbane. They can't allow Collingwood to go down and kick a goal after they've just missed an easy one.
Didak out on the lead, shut down on that occasion by a good defence from Wade Mills.
And once again, in the last 10 minutes of play, we've seen Lockyer work from one end of the ground to the other, find space, and actually he's still by himself.
Fraser, double-handed tap, but it's scooped up here by Simon Black.
Possession number 32 for Black, 11 more than any other player on the ground.
Like to see him get his 40 for the first time in his career on his 200th. I think he had 36 or 37 in a grand final once.
Fixter released the pressure for Brisbane. A congested forward line. Big pack develops. Ball runs over the back. Reece Shaw harassed by Luke Power. Thomas gets it out. Now Pendlebury's back there working hard as well. Reece Shaw to Lockyer. Mark number 15. Well, Danny Jacobs took 20 here against the Brisbane Lions to have the most by a player this season. And Lockyer's almost up with him now. A bad bounce for Tuvey there. An opportunity now as Clark works it out wide, and that's a good mark.
They've got a loose player forward if they can find him.
Drummond works it forward. Out comes Jonathan Brown. Notting scoops up the loose ball, dances around two would-be tacklers. Clark couldn't handle it at ground level, brings it back in.
But again, there's an opportunity there. The final hand pass from Tim Notting lands at the bootlaces of Mitchell Clark. Just those little skill errors have dogged them all night.
Collingwood look to clear Pendlebury.
He can't chase Luke Power. He's got nothing left. He's just had 3 or 4 efforts up forward and he's spent.
14th disposal for Pendlebury, and he finds Anthony Rocket.
Reasonably open forward 50 as well.
They work it looking for Didak. Sherman rushing back, but Didak takes the mark.
Beautiful weighted kick. As you saw with Jonathan Brown at this end in the last quarter, wasn't a spearing pass, just put it out in front of Didak, allowed him to run onto it, protected the drop zone with his body.
And you just about bet your bottom dollar on Alan Didak going back and kicking this one.
Well, he's kicked 9 goals, 1 this season. All-Australian last year. Kicked 41 to be Collingwood's second highest goal kicker last season. 2 last week against the Western Bulldogs, 4 the previous week against Carlton. Didak comes in and never looked like missing.
Well, that's the goal that Brisbane should have had. Collingwood have had the answers when they've needed them. And I know they've actually kicked more points than the Brisbane Lions, but the nature of the 8 points that the Brisbane Lions have kicked have been much simpler shots to goal than the Collingwood misses. And it looks like it's going to probably cost them 4 points tonight. They've played well enough to win this one. In a tight one, they've played well enough to win, but haven't kicked well enough.
Collingwood have kicked 4 of the last 5 goals, bracketed across three-quarter time. And now enjoy a 14-point lead. The biggest margin we've seen in the match has been 18 points, which Collingwood had during the second term. And Brisbane with some work to do. Is Cheney Stiller. Marches through the centre of the ground, pops it up high. Thomas comes out with a fist, goes again, it's a mark.
Just didn't get there in the end.
Lockyer scrambles a kick forward for Collingwood. Brisbane through the agency here of Mills. Very good job. Kick tumbles off the boot. Drummond, Black.
Oh, the hands.
Gets it available now again with a kick well off the money.
And just he's covered probably about the 12 or 13 kilometres so far, Simon Black, but his hands are still very clean as Luke Power has been moved to the forward line, but he, as you called, Jace, looks like he's out on his feet.
Very Shaw takes the mark. Coming up for disposal number 14. Dane Swan on the lead.
It's a nice pass.
And they've been good at controlling the tempo, Collingwood. More accurate with their passing, although that one's a little off the money from Dane Swan.
He should have been a free kick to Jason Rowe too. Medhurst put him in a headlock before he led.
Rocker with one hand brings it to ground. Nice work from Fixter, taking on a much bigger opponent. Merritt, again a little indecisive. Good pressure from Collingwood to keep the ball in their 50 at the moment. Pendlebury had plenty of time to get rid of it. They work it to Ben Johnson. He goes from 45 and closing. Goal umpire hasn't moved. Collingwood are looking like winners.
Those last two goals should almost be the knockout blow. The Collingwood Football Club is starting to find a little bit of space. They're running well. Their midfielders are running very well. Tarkin Lockyer has been the one that just off the ball he seems to be just running harder and harder as the game goes on. And the ability with these half chances from outside 50 to convert will probably be enough.
Oh, Collingwood with a 20-point lead, the biggest margin we've seen in the match. Almost 10 minutes played in the final term.
You've got to take your hat off to Collingwood. They're just workmanlike the way they go about it. They just play the percentages and they just keep doing it for 4 quarters.
They've been going hard at each other, these two ruckmen. At this occasion, Charman's given a couple of free kicks for taking his eye off the ball. On that occasion was Josh Fraser, just dropped the knees into Charman.
Brisbane to their half-forward line. They have the numbers. Good work from Luke Power. Here's Simon Black again. Disposal number 34. Looking for Jonathan Brown. Patfull there as well for Brisbane. Brown goes again. Patfull trying to work it out. Quick kick from Nick Maxwell to Fraser.
Great tackle. Just a little bit slow on that occasion, Josh Fraser.
Thank you.
And Josh Drummond
Stay there.
is the beneficiary.
Play on.
Goes long to the goal square. Dane Brown the target. It snuck over the back though. Opportunity for Patfull. Gets it out. And the birthday boy, Robert Copeland, from close range has missed everything. Harry O'Brien over the top to get some valuable metres for Collingwood. The Brisbane continue to come. Tim Notting tucked in on the boundary line, wants a better angle. Jonathan Brown taken down by Thomas, and it's a free kick to Jonathan Brown.
Cannot believe it. Dale Thomas, have a look at him. He is in disbelief. Ben Johnson just coming over and saying, just keep your tongue in check because it's no good thing to kick this. We don't want to give away a 50.
He's coming to. It was actually a well set up tackle, but
Gee, that's a tough decision.
He has got in Jonathan Brown's back. He got the head tucked in.
In his defence, Brown twisted in the air as he approached him, and he also turned him onto his side as he dumped him. I reckon that's a tough decision against Dale Thomas. Little bloke taking on a big bloke. You've got to cut him some slack.
80 kilos versus 100 kilos. Brown told to play on. Took too long with it, according to the umpire. Goes to Notting. He's shut down. All of age one tackle. Good job from Tim Notting. He fires from 55. It's off the money into the forward pocket. Patfull couldn't reel it in. It's over the boundary line.
They're just finding ways to not kick goals now, Brisbane. He can't believe it. Jonathan Brown, he just took forever. That might have been the physio coming out and having a check with him, so he's obviously a little bit sore, Jonathan Brown.
Charman, front position, tap to the hot spot, running onto it. Power, but he was outdone on that occasion by Dale Thomas, and here's Burns. Nice pass as well. Medhurst dropped what he should have taken. Rowe taken out of it. Medhurst goes again for Collingwood. Has numbers out wide, looking for Travis Cloak. He takes the mark in advance of Wade Mills.
Lockyer again has worked his way all the way down.
Didn't get a very good bounce, and it's over the boundary line.
Didn't get rewarded on that occasion, but he was in the opposite pocket, 150 metres away, and he has done that for the whole game.
Just looks supremely fit, doesn't he?
Yep.
Hardly blow out a candle.
23 disposals, 15 marks for Tarkin Lockyer. A great season. Brisbane look to bring it out. Black, another handball, 35 possessions. Goes again. Leon Davis works the ball out. Here's Didak. Centres the ball dangerously. Hank Swan couldn't reel it in. Richards hands over. Brody Holland with plenty on his plate. Black again involved.
That 36.
To Selwood. Jonathan Brown against Presta Giacomo in a good contest. Working around the corner, Sherman pops it up in the air, looking for Mitchell Clark. Running back, Jonathan Brown.
How did he get back there? How did he get back there? He was just up where Sherman kicked the ball from.
Oh, he does that week in, week out. You see this man throw his body around. He should get absolutely smashed one week, but look at this.
Look at him.
Eyes firmly fixed on the ball. And I know I used to be in that position where you think, here he comes again. Let's get out of the road. But that is a great mark. And that's why his form is going to turn around.
This to get Brisbane back to within 14 points. Jonathan Brown gets his second for the night. The game is still alive.
That is absolutely team-lifting stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, this game is alive only because of the inspiration of Jonathan Brown.
Like, that's a 45-metre kick, and Jonathan Brown was 5 metres away from the kicker, and he's run hard, does not take a glance.
To sprint with your head craned back as far as it possibly can, looking for the ball up over your head, knowing there's traffic ahead of you, that's extraordinary. That's madness.
For the 6th time in 9 games, Jonathan Brown has multiple goals for Brisbane.
He scares me and I'm only watching, Case. I hate to see him running towards the ball when I'm in the area.
Jarman again took his eye off the ball against Richards, farmed it down to Lappin, who goes over the top. Sherman shut down quickly, got it out though to Hadley, who does a 360, goes short. Power couldn't reel in the mark. Heavy work going on, and Ben Johnson will clear for Collingwood. Has Cloak out on a long lead. That's a good mark as well. Turns around quickly. Didak, the man, comes out and takes a good mark.
That is a very important forward thrust for Collingwood. Good mark from Cloak. Even better pass to Didak. And this man rarely misses when he gets a shot on goal inside 50.
They had the composure under pressure, Collingwood, when it was so close to a mark from Luke Power at one end. All of a sudden, 10 seconds later, Didak's lining up at the other end.
The problem is the fact Luke Power's absolutely worn out that he spilt something that he'd normally take.
Season high of 4 goals for Didak against Carlton. Comes in looking for his second tonight, and he has got the job done.
That's a great sign for Collingwood as there's plenty happening off the ball. There's still a lot of feeling in this game. Brisbane Lions, after their last 5 minutes, still feel they're in it. But that was a quality answer, and that's a very good sign of a quality side, and Collingwood are that.
Gee, it was a good kick from Ben Johnson too, because if the ball hits the deck, it's 1 against 2, and Brisbane will sweep it forward.
Well, plenty happening.
Just a little reminder from the forward that I got that one on you.
3 goals to 1 in the final quarter from Collingwood, including 2 for Alan Didak, and they're looking like winners. As Charman takes them on again. Lappin, handball out, Stiller to Notting, gets rid of it quickly. Jonathan Brown going back with a flight again. Over the top came Mitchell Clark.
And I'll tell you what, the fact was, he moved all the traffic out of the way, Jonathan Brown. He went back and bowled a couple over, which allowed, and you can just see the umpire there saying it was just a clash of the bodies. He's hurt himself, Jonathan Brown. But
well, so he should. So he should.
He paved the way for Mitchell Clark to come over the top.
Great work. He's been super impressive, Mitch Clark.
Yep. Gee, 5 goals with a great return, wouldn't it?
He missed 2 shots early. But coming in now for goal number 5 in just his 7th game in the AFL. And the teenager has got it.
That was the wrong
drop of the
wrong and out of the hand, and it is done plenty off the boot. We'll see Jonathan Brown once again.
Eyes on the ball,
firmly
yeah.
fixed on the ball. Now he's taken the traffic out. Mitch Clark think, how easy is this? Jonathan Brown will do all the hard work for me. And Mitch Clark he's at his 5th goal. 5 goals, 2. Super impressive debut.
Well, he only played 6 games last season. His first for 2007 will be memorable personally. Only kicked 3 goals coming into this match, and he's bagged 5 tonight. Still more than 8 minutes to play and a 14-point lead, and Charman gets them going again up to the half-forward line. Black, was he pushed out? Tried to draw a free kick, but couldn't do so, and Dale Thomas clears for Collingwood.
Don't know whether he was pushed out. I was watching the other madman coming from the side.
Medhurst gets it up. That's a strong mark. Intelligent work from Travis Cloke. He plays on, goes to the goal front. Merritt wrestling with Rocker. Travis Cloke has come up with a miracle.
And that's been the story of the night. No sooner did Brisbane get themselves back in the contest, Collingwood answers straight away.
When they were down the other end of the ground, there was some thought of maybe a free kick. That's a great mark. Plays on quickly. He's a penetrating kick and backed himself in. That's handy work on the goal line. Anthony Rocker, he's done his job there. Created a goal for his teammate.
Four goals to 2 in this final term, and 2 in the match for Travis Cloke. He played 19 minutes. And what has been a very entertaining affair. Charman to Lappin, to Stiller. Close quarters, Jason Rowe takes them on. Duck the head, but will get the free kick. Selwood to Stiller, who goes long again. Not to the advantage of a teammate initially, though. Running onto it now, an opportunity for Drummond. It's over the line, out of bounds. We'll go to Rowan Smith.
Well, Ash McGrath is still on the boundary line here, riding the bike. They're really missing him at the moment because Sherman's gone forward, and that means that Copeland has to go back onto Didak.
Clark over the back, feeds Lappin, spins out of trouble. Back to Clark. Couldn't keep his feet. Pendlebury cleans up with the assistance of Lockyer.
Just love how workmanlike they've been, Collingwood. When they've needed to be, they've done the hard yards. They're just efficiently workmanlike tonight.
Johnson and Burns combine. This time Burns goes longer. Dane Swan in best position over the back of Riscatelli to take the mark.
Smart. Just held his opponent under the ball.
Rocker the target against Daniel Merritt, the best spoiler in the AFL, and he's done it again. With an opportunity for Collingwood. Working around the body, O'Brien.
Oh, goal.
Well, he doesn't look too pretty at the moment, but he's come up with a very attractive goal.
An absolutely super, fantastic goal from Shane O'Brien. Very handy snap, but Collingwood have responded to every challenge that the Lions have sent to them. Been a good contest, the Rocker Merritt contest. On the boundary line, had a bit of claret coming from the nose. Looked inboards, no one there. I'll have a shot at this, and that's the way it's been going of late for the Collingwood team.
Well, Shane O'Brien, former Brisbane player in 1998-99. He played 19 games with them. Top 10 in Collingwood's best and fairest last season, and they are going on their merry way. 5 goals to 2 in this final term, and we've still got 6.5 minutes to play as Charman drives Brisbane forward again. Dale Thomas doing a good job in the unfamiliar role as a defender, lapping around the body, down to the pocket, and coming across Nick Maxwell to defuse the situation.
You just get worried watching the way Jonathan Brown plays the game. Is what toll is it going to take on his body? How much football will he get out of himself in the future? Because he is a human battering around the way he attacks the footy.
That's why he's had his knee drained almost every game over the last couple of years. His back's been cracked. His pelvis has had a crack in it. You can understand why.
Mitchell Clark manhandling Fraser out of the equation. O'Brien takes them on, gets it to Thomas, wants to take on Luke Power, and bravely gets around him with speed. Takes on Cheney Stiller as well. He's lost control of it.
Well, if the second tackle spills the ball out, why isn't that a free kick?
Well, it probably was. You don't mind the young bloke backing himself, taking on his opponent, but in the end, it may have been a free kick.
Just went to the well once too often then, Dale Thomas.
Charman over the back looking for Black, but Lockyer is there to clean up for Collingwood. Knocked further on by Didak. And now Collingwood with numbers. This is Pendlebury. Has kicked 2 goals already tonight. Worked to the 50. Got himself into trouble, but good enough to get it to Dane Swan. His kick wobbles toward the forward line, and Tarkin Lockyer is there to take mark number 16.
Now that was extraordinary. Once again, Tarkin Lockyer left the centre of the ground and ran. Pendlebury actually looked laterally and saw Lockyer, but thought, no, there's better options up forward. The kick went skew. Lockyer had pushed all the way down to the forward 50 and took the mark. That was rewarded for basically gut running. He's got to be worn out because he's covered that much territory, and rewarded with a mark and a shot on goal.
They're not letting up Collingwood, and this is going to blow out to a disturbing margin for Brisbane, because they were right in this contest 2 minutes ago, and now it's almost going to be 30 points.
Looking for his first goal tonight, and Lockyer is celebrating, and so are Collingwood.
And as one of the young leaders at the club for Collingwood, you would hope that the Collingwood Football Club have got a little tape and have recorded the movements of Tarkin Lockyer and the work that he's actually done tonight and the area he's covered. He's still pushed down there, and very good mark, and just reward.
Nice pass from Dane Swan, given he was having a shot for goal. And then just hit the target beautifully.
First time Collingwood have kicked 18 goals this season. Previous highest score 17-17 against Carlton. Got 18 tonight, and that includes 6 here in the final term and just 2 from Brisbane. Charman with the knockout once more. Number 24 in that category for him, but it's Collingwood who go forward. Rowe had it, then lost it. Takes on Leon Davis. Selwood at close quarters needs support. Charman there, back to Rowe. Man out wide, Stiller wanted it for a long time and then couldn't control it when it came his way. Dane Swan scrubs one forward. Holland around the body. Daniel Merritt comes out, went without it. Copeland has to clean up. Riscatelli dodges around one opponent, takes on another. Here's Rocker wheeling around dangerously onto the right foot, but it's a minor score.
Bit of a shame for Brisbane. I mean, if you pick up the paper and read the scores tomorrow, you're going to say, oh, Collingwood flogged Brisbane at the Gabba. But they've been right in this contest, just lacking a little bit of polish, a little bit of composure at crucial times, whereas Collingwood have just been the consummate professionals.
Good contest that played at high intensity.
Nodding, handball to no one. Collingwood win it back again. Lockyer available, kick goes beyond him. Josh Fraser wants to go short, not 15 is the call. Told to play on Travis Cloak. Hands over to Brody Holland, trying to shake a tackle. Lost control.
Gee, they've stopped to walk the players out there now.
Still more than 3.5 minutes remaining as Pendlebury goes into the pocket to find Josh Fraser.
A lot of very tired players, and I think the Brisbane players, they know that the game's gone now, and they've just dropped off on the work rate.
Well, they've kicked 6 goals, 1 so far in this quarter, Collingwood. They kicked 7 in the final term back in round 1 to come over the top of the Kangaroos and get the job done.
I don't want to harp on it, Case, but that's 12 quarters now in a row that Brisbane have lost.
You won't be invited to call Brisbane's next game, Jace. Fraser tucked in on the pocket, can only manage a minor score.
They've just worked hard, the Brisbane Lions, to get back in the contest. But every time they'd get a goal, Collingwood would answer, and it's just been mentally draining. They haven't been able to respond again after Collingwood just keep kicking goals and answer.
Copeland was signalling to his half-forward line, was trying to get it beyond the huddle at centre-half back. Wobbles a spiral punt to centre-half back. No-look handle coming from Pendlebury. Simon Black with it. That's 37 possessions. We'll keep that tally going. Jonathan Brown has got it again. Hands off. Drummond.
Oh, shank.
Off the side of his boot, it'll work to the advantage of Jed Adcock, who we're happy to see back on the ground after he was poleaxed by Anthony Rocker. Plays on.
Good vision.
Stiller available. That's the man he was after, and Cheney Stiller has taken the mark for Brisbane.
And he's worked his way into the game, Cheney Stiller. This will be his 22nd possession. and should bring up his first goal. As I touched on during the week, there was a big cloud over his ankle, whether he'd be able to come up. But he's put in a fine performance.
He's kicked 4 goals this season, but not one for 3 weeks, and that's to the near side. It's a minor score for the Brisbane Lions.
Well, I'm sure the Collingwood supporters won't mind Brisbane getting a bit of a belting on the scoreboard. They've been right in this contest, but they haven't kicked straight. They've let themselves down time and time again, and I almost feel for Brisbane. You'd like to see them kick some late goals just to close up the scores because they deserve to be closer.
Lockyer, 17 marks now. Gary O'Brien is going to chip it around here, milk the clock. Less than 2 minutes to play. Just to rub salt into the wounds.
18 marks, 31 position. I mean, this is where
them standing up now.
This is where the marks actually don't count, or shouldn't count. But yeah, it's the stat sheet will read very nicely for Tarkin Lockyer.
Coming into this match, his best return was 11 marks in a game.
So you look at the interchanges, almost double to Collingwood. They've rotated the players. Brisbane, of course, have been hamstrung. They've had a couple of injuries. Ashley McGrath's taken no further part in the game once he went off. And Adcock was off for a while injured, so maybe hamstrung a little bit, but good use of the bench by Collingwood.
Ash McGrath, a forlorn figure on the bench at the moment. As Brisbane mount another challenge, Riscatelli going backwards to Charman. He retreats even further. Tim Notting against O'Brien, just pokes it up in the air to the half-forward line. Good strong mark taken there by Drummond.
Not normally up this end of the ground, Josh Drummond. Got a raking left foot kick. It's not going to get the opportunity just in that instance.
That's your line. That's it, Nick.
By Matthew Nichols, a little pedantic.
You've got to go sideways, Nick, if you want to move.
Josh Drummond was ready to tee it up on the run, have a ping. A bit difficult from this angle.
Kicked the goal last
Fair
week,
effort.
Josh Drummond. And off the boot, that's looking strong, but the mark has been taken in the last line of defence by Josh Fraser.
I don't think too many people have taken Collingwood as a serious threat this year in terms of the premiership, but of the Victorian teams, they're certainly putting their hand up. 6-3 now. They've had some very good away wins. They've won a couple of interstate. This is a venue they haven't won at for 12 years, so they've obviously set themselves up for a very good year now.
So you think they're going to challenge the Hawks, Jace?
Don't get silly, Lynchy.
Sorry, man.
We're just building.
1 week at a time.
Correct.
Collingwood, Alan's Tooby trying to draw a free kick. It comes to nothing. It is all over. And for the first time since 1995, Collingwood have won at the Gabba. There was an arm wrestle for most of the match, but a very impressive final term where they kicked 6 goals has taken Collingwood to their highest score of the year and their biggest victory of the year. They've come up with a 33-point win against Brisbane.
Great game. It was a very tough contest, played at a high tempo for most part of the game. Collingwood just had all the answers, and especially late in the game when the Brisbane Lions surged on the back of some courage from Jonathan Brown and some brilliance. But Collingwood stood up. Fantastic win, and for the first time since 1995, you can hear the Collingwood theme song played at the Gabba.
Only their 3rd win from 12 starts. Collingwood with 11 goal kickers in the match as we go down to Rowan Smith.
Well, Tarkin, at the end it was a good win, but it was closer than that.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough match. They're a great side. They just keep coming at you and at you and at you. So the guys to come up here, it's a tough road trip up here, and we haven't done too well over the last few years. So to come away with a good win, you know, it's just another good step forward for the boys.
And it was a good even contribution from everyone tonight as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing that we've had to do over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks. We've just had an even contribution from all the boys, all 22. So it's just fantastic. That's what you want from any team, just everyone to have a crack.
And you were going for a new world record tonight, 19 marks, mate. Can you believe that?
I don't know what's going on. There must be an error.
Well done, mate. Go and enjoy the win.
Thanks, mate.
Well, Tarkin Lockyer equalled his career high in disposals with 32. It set a new record with marks, taking 19. Leon Davis was busy as well. Kicked 3 goals from just 6 kicks, so an Indigenous round he came to the fore. And Collingwood, they'll be very happy with that result.
Oh, they will be there. The two big stories of the night, Case. One's Collingwood. They're in good position now to set themselves up for some September action. I know it's very early, but important away wins that almost count as double. And the other big story of the night, I think, is Mitchell Clark. 5 goals to a youngster who's only played a handful of games. He just looks very, very exciting. Could have kicked 7 or 8.
Certainly he was a bit shaky on his first couple of shots on goal, but the way he moved at the ball, whether it be a long kick deep or on the lead, he's very mobile, very exciting. We've been hearing a lot about him over the summer, and he certainly should perform tonight.
The other thing that's amazing here is the amount of black and white that's in the crowd. They have supporters everywhere, Collingwood.
Yes, they've done a good job. They started the final term leading by just 9 points. But in the end, they have run away with the match here by 33, their biggest win of the year. And Brisbane continue their round 9 woes. They're the worst round 9 team in the AFL, and they have copped it tonight. And Collingwood, they will head back to Melbourne, happy to grab the 4 points. We'll be back here at the Gabba to wrap it up on Saturday Night Football with Jason Dunstall and Alistair Lynch right after this.